Well, Chris, as exciting as racing is here, television doesn't really do 31 degrees of banking justice. So when you have the greatest skateboarder in the history of the world, Tony Hawk, you bring him in. Now, Tony, what you do is obviously pretty extreme, but what do you think about the high banks here at Daytona?
I had no idea, you know. You see this on TV, and it just looks like a sort of a bank turn, and when you get here, it's really steep. It's a lot scarier than I thought.
All right, up the banking you go.
I got to start from the top? It seems so easy when someone called me about this, you know?
All right, now what kind of a ride was that at 31 degrees?
A lot faster than I ever expected it to be. It was fun, though. It's actually pretty smooth along the bottom. I thought that where it meets the flat, it would be a little more kink, but it's all right.
How about at 185 miles an hour?
No, thanks.
All right, back to you, Chris.
All right, thanks very much. I've seen Dick Berger do that on his red scooter.
Yeah, I have too.
Tony Hawk can do a lot more.
3 cars have crashed, putting us under the red flag for this practice session. It all happened going down toward turn 1. Elliott Sadler walks away from his Robert Yates Ford. Jeff Burton and Mike Skinner, the other drivers involved.
You watch what happens here. Mike Skinner in the 4 car. They're going down toward turn 1 here, and he just oh no, actually this car right here,
that would have been Jack Sprague.
Sprague got into the back of the 4. When I looked up, I saw the 4 car going crazy. Didn't see the contact between he and Sprague, so that's what started that.
John Andretti sliding through the grass.
You see the 4 down there, and Sprague just basically just turns into him. Not sure if he didn't know he was there, or I'm not sure what happened.
He gathers 2 other cars.
Let's ride with Michael Waltrip through this.
Uh-oh. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Cars, cars, cars. Where'd they all go?
Lucky, lucky.
I'm telling you. And I'm sure he's telling his crew that very thing. And that's really all you can do down there. You back off the throttle and just keep going straight and hope nothing comes back up in front of you.
We just had talked about backup cars. Now, what this means is in the 125, the 125-mile races on Thursday, these guys will have to go to the rear of the field to use their backup car. But wherever they finish in the 125s, they don't have to go to the rear of the field for the 500. Next race is the 125-mile qualifiers.
Mike Skinner's Pontiac. I'd like to see that again.
Yeah, because I thought it was the 4 car that got hit.
We were watching Skinner. Let's see if we can pinpoint Jack Sprague so that you can see how this started. There is Sprague's car, and already the backup's being unloaded for Elliott Sadler and for Jeff Burton. Both of those cars are pretty heavily damaged.
I think we're going to see the action a little earlier here. This is coming through the tri-oval.
And here they come down toward turn 1.
Sprague right in the middle there. He's up and he comes down into Skinner.
Darrell, it's like he yanked it right, and when he yanked it back left, it went, you know, it just darted straight left with him, like he just overreacted with the steering wheel possibly.
When the car started to the right, it almost looked like it was going to get into.
Here's Sprague right in there.
He started up the hill towards Steve Park and then cut sharply left.
He buffed off of the car to his right, and that shot him into Skinner.
And watch that black and red number 0.
Here they are, right in there. Here they come. Sprague's down here. That's what happens. Sprague gets into the left rear of the 1 car, shoots him down into the
4.
Into the 4 car, and he spins. Track's blocked.
Now, Skinner's car may not be too badly damaged to the left front, but he did make it back around to pit road.
Yeah, he's sitting down here on pit road with the right front. It's got to have damage on the right front.
Sadler's car is all done, and so is Jeff Burton's. No one was injured. Everybody walked away.
They're looking over. They're getting their backup car out too. He's got to have damage. You got to hit a couple of times.
You know, Darrell, you have to make sure your car's driving good. You got to make sure you practice it. But we just heard Harvick about 5 minutes ago say, you know what, safest place for my race car, it's driving pretty good, is in this garage area.
Especially since he's been in the Bud shootout. He said he put the setup in the car, felt pretty good. Parked the darn thing.
All right, we're going to go to Speed Studio for a bit and then come back with NASCAR Busch Series practice for the Coolers 300 at 1:20. Don't forget Thursday, coverage of the Gatorade Twin 125s begins on FX at 12:30 p.m. But we're going to be back here in not too long with NASCAR Busch Series practice. So cleanup continues from a 4-car crash in turn 1. The Busch cars will be out shortly, and we're going to join John Roberts and Ken Squire in the Speed Studio.
Based off of how you've qualified, as they come down the qualifying order, you get an opportunity. And right now, the 8 cars, everybody's on pit road.
Looks like everybody but Todd Bodine, Elliott Sadler, Bobby Labonte, Kyle Petty, everybody else is on pit road. Whoa, Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch get together. He gets one of the crew members. There's some mistakes. This will cost you getting in the Daytona 500.
The 97 was out of control getting on pit road. He couldn't even get it wound up.
The Jackman was hit, but he is okay. Matt.
A gas and go only for Dale Earnhardt Jr. And the 29 car has Kevin Harvick also in a right side tire change. You can hear a lot of the crew chiefs up and down pit road warning their drivers, be careful. We only want to take 2, so don't flat spot the tire, so we have to take 4.
Yeah, the 97 car came off the racetrack. He didn't expect everybody to start pitting. He was out of control.
He's going to get a 1-lap penalty for Kurt Busch. Also a long stop for Dave Blaney, Booty Barker's crew. Now Todd Bodine pits with Elliott Sadler, Bobby Labonte, and Kyle Petty.
Right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's 2 seconds ahead of his teammate Michael Waltrip on the racetrack. See Kurt Busch there in the outside line right there. He was out of control when he got to the entrance of pit road, Darrell.
Yeah, he did not know they were going to pit, and when he saw that they were, he tried to come with them, and he couldn't make it.
Now the rest of the guys come to pit road. Todd Bodine, Elliott Sadler, Bobby Labonte, Kyle Petty, they're on pit road, as well as Ryan Newman's back on pit road.
Now the Jackman for Kurt Busch gets upended, held the jack out for protection, and he is okay. Scott Radell, the Jackman for Kurt Busch.
Of course, that's messing Schrader up because Busch was in the pit before Schrader's, so Schrader was having a problem getting into his pit box.
Let's show you what happened from Kevin Harvick's point of view.
See, the 97's going by on the outside. He got the tires locked up. He can't get the car wound up.
And now his pit's up at this end. Boom.
Just about the time that Kevin Harvick thought that the 97 had it wound up, he started to gas to go to his pit.
Getting off the tire.
Gil Martin reacts.
Kind of in his own league right now. When we have a 6-car draft going, he can come along the outside and still hang there with us, which shouldn't be able to happen. But you know, our cars have been very strong, driving very good. We're getting good fuel mileage, so you know, it's just a game of survival. I mean, weird things happen in this 500, and we're very happy. We're going to put a cover on it now and save it and make sure we don't tear it up, and be ready for tomorrow.
Now the 48 car just brushed the wall. The 41 car. They're talking in my ear. The 41 car brushed the wall. You're going to cover up the 48 soon. But we've talked a lot about speed weeks, and you've been open about the fact you're still trying to learn all you can about drafting, but still you're a pretty stout little drafter.
I'm getting a lot better at it, and the way you learn is by making mistakes. And these guys have so many tricks up their sleeves, it's crazy. And I'm learning them more and more, and that list of don'ts are getting smaller for me. So I'm having a good time with it. And I've got DW, come on, buddy. You got to work with me a little bit here. Beating up on me hard on TV, and then I make good passes while you're beating up on me. So cut me some slack, be on my side. It'll be a lot better for you.
I'm glad to know he's watching.
Stop talking so much.
I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad to know he's watching.
We've been down here for 10 minutes waiting to do an interview, and you keep talking. I've been standing here waiting to go get a Gatorade, and now fortunately, I had someone bring one to me. So be quiet, would you?
Go watch yourself on TV.
He says to go watch yourself on TV.
Okay, you got it.
Tell him to hear me now, believe me later.
I'm going to tell you guys, this is a shame. I mean, this is a crew chief and a race team's nightmare. You have been here for a week and a half. You made the 500 by virtue of finishing 15th in the 125-miler. There's less than 10 minutes to go in the final practice, and your car looks like this.
You know, Larry, he did something that at first surprised me and then I thought was very smart. Instead of turning left into the garage when he came off turn number 4, he went most of the length of the pit road, turning the steering wheel very wide back and forth, trying to analyze how badly damaged the car is, because he's not going to be able to do that in the garage.
I don't think he's got any brakes.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be another reason.
Yeah. He's trying to scrub speed off, trying to get it stopped.
He's just trying to wobble it down there and get it wound up. Probably busted the right front rotor and stuff.
Of course, Casey Mears is scheduled to start 29th should they elect to repair this car, but they may decide to go to a backup car. That car, the thing about that, you know, you can fix the cosmetic, but there's always the question, what's bent that we can't find?
Yeah, that car hit the wall really hard. When you bow that right front in there like that, and like I say, I think he's busted the rotor and the brakes off of the thing. That thing's got some pretty serious damage.
Do these cars have dual channel brakes, or is it just a single master cylinder and a single set of lines?
Both. You know, some people run dual master cylinders, which means one controls the front wheels, one controls the rear. Some run the old Ford single master cylinder that controls all 4 wheels. So if you have a brake line problem, that's the downside of a single master cylinder. You have a problem, you have brakes on none of the 4 wheels.
And that could likely have been what happened to Mears, who was 4th fastest in this practice session.
And just to follow up a little bit with Jimmy, we're not picking on him. We're just observing what he's doing. And, you know, he's been said Jeff and them have been trying to help him. He might ought to let us try to help him.
We're just giving him a chance to pick.
Big trouble.
Newman slams the wall. Man. Comes Schrader, and Newman is in the air and over. Brian Newman, last year's Rookie of the Year. The rear end ripped from the car as he slides down the asphalt, and when that car hit the grass of the tri-oval, Brian Newman went upside down.
Come on, boy, get out.
A crash on pit road. Bobby Labonte has slammed into Ken Schrader as Schrader slid through the infield grass.
And the problem was Schrader was already wrecked. They come down pit road. I don't think Schrader could control his car.
Ryan's moving in the car. So he is moving around trying to get out.
Not a whole lot he can do hanging there like that. I mean, he's got to have help. Pretty big boy. He doesn't want to.
Kenny Schrader's climbed out. Newman has signaled that he is okay. He is a strapping young fella.
Yes, he is.
Used to driving open-wheel sprint cars.
I mean, Darrell, this is a predicament trying to get unhooked out of that car upside down.
Well, you got seat belts, you got the Hans device. I mean, there's just so many things. You got to have help. Man, it ripped the rear end housing right out from under that race car. When it dug into that grass right there, it just started tearing the car apart.
Brian Newman, USAC Silver Crown champ and Purdue University engineering graduate. Going to climb out of that car with help, and here Bobby Labonte and Ken Schrader.
I think Schrader was in the grass and he was going down through here, and I think his car must have gotten out of control, and Bobby Labonte was coming along and he just slid over in front of him.
All right, you're looking down at Labonte's crew, looking to see if they have so much damage that they can't get back into the race.
There you see Ryan Newman right there.
Oh yeah, he waved to the crowd. All right,
buddy. Second caution flag of the day. Newman's car got tipped into the outside wall and then slid through the infield. And when it got to the grass, it got airborne.
Let's watch her here and see what happens. Oh, Kenny Schrader got out of control, got into him. Oh, that's what happened, Mike. His right rear tire came off. Car goes airborne, then when it hits the ground, it digs in and just rips it apart. Let me tell you, the way these cars are inside, he's like he's in a capsule in there. And so these cars, they've done such an incredibly good job with the safety and protecting the driver in these cars. Look at that thing lift up, Larry.
Just takes off like an airplane.
That's 3,400 pounds, folks, just lifting up in the air like a feather.
and the right rear wheel digs into the dirt and tears the whole rear end loose from the car.
Yeah, if the tire hadn't come off of the wheel, it probably wouldn't have turned over like that. But once the tire came off, and it dug in and flipped it.
Now, when Schrader's car was heading down pit road, he was basically a passenger because the front end of his car had been heavily damaged.
And I think that's what happened at the end of pit road. He just couldn't control his car.
Yeah, here they come. Here comes Schrader. You can see the whole right side. Well, back there, his right side's all torn. Of course, he got into the wall.
The best news, driver number 12, Ryan Newman, climbed out of that car unhurt.
What a sight to see after windshield.
I'll tell you what, I've seen Ricky Rudd flip here. I've seen Rusty Wallace flip here. I've seen Richie Petty flip here. Dale Earnhardt flip here. I've flipped here. We've all walked away. It's been quite amazing how they got these cars designed.
That's a testimony to what NASCAR's done for the safety of these cars.
That's why when they tell you to fix something or change something, you don't hesitate. You do it.
Kenny Schrader and Bobby Labonte's crew are trying to see if they can get back in this race. "42 drivers and all of us. We're going to take a minute to get our head back into the game. The Daytona 500 continues on Fox after this. The Daytona 500 on Fox is brought to you by Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership. Let Aaron's drive your dreams home today. By Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. By Pepsi-Cola, experience the joy of Pepsi. And by Singular Wireless, national coverage, affordable calling plans, and a really fast car. We're under caution here at Daytona. Ryan Newman gets upside down, but Darrell looked like Kenny Schrader might have had a little push.
Yeah, I think he may have gotten a little tap from behind by Ward Burton, the way it looked. Kenny was coming up off turn 4 there. I believe he must have had to lift up out. Well, no, there's what happened, I believe. Rusty Wallace came over in front of Kenny. He had to let out a throttle a little bit to let Rusty in. And when he did, he got hit from behind by Ward, who had a run on him.
A chain reaction. And watch number 12, Ryan Newman.
I think all of that action there was because that right rear tire came off. It let air get up under the car, it lifted the car up, and then it dug in there in the grass and just tore it all to pieces.
That kind of puts it in perspective.
Ken Schrader's gone behind the wall.
Do you care whether we get the rest of this race in, because now it stopped raining? And what'd you tell me?
So of course I care.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what you said.
Well, I'm not maybe near as excited about it as I was, but you know, we just had a decent run going. We had a good week down here. Scared the heck out of Carrot Top there, you know. And
is this what happened? Did this happen when you got the damage here?
It looked normal before the wreck, you know, and then it scared the heck out of them. So
Carrot Top never looks normal. We should just clear that up.
We're going to load him up and bring him back at Darlington. We're going to go to Rockingham without him, but glad to have him back at Rockingham. Just not the way we wanted to have the day go.
Now, you doing okay? Because I noticed there's like a chunk of sod over here. Did that come out of the car? Did that come out of you? Where's this from here?
No, I just got a little bit of sod. I think Ryan Newman got most of it, but just glad to see Ryan's okay and everybody's all right. Just bad day for a lot of people.
I'm glad to see that we can stand here and joke and that you're doing okay as well.
We're fine. Just wish we was out there and it wasn't raining.
All right, Steve?
With Sterling Marlin.
One car smashing off the wall and sliding to a halt. Caution is out.
That's our pole sitter, Jeff Green, in the 30 car. Sterling Marlin gets his lap back, Darrell.
Yeah, he does.
And Jimmy Spencer is involved in the number 7 and slides to a halt right near the entrance to pit road. At lap 95, the third caution flag of the day, there is Spencer's spent Dodge.
I tried, Fred, dog. I couldn't get outside of him. I tried to get outside of him.
Jeff Green is okay. You heard Spencer say he tried to get outside and could not to miss the crash.
This comes right on the heels of most of the teams fixing to come to pit road and make green flag pit stops.
So we're not going to get that long green again that I think some of the guys were hoping for.
Okay. Do you stop Or do you wait out lap 100 and see if it sprinkles?
I know
you go send the guy over to the radar?
It's going to be a different guy in 1992, trust me.
In his book, Larry wrote about the guy sitting to the radar. He come back and said, everything's great, Larry. It's all green. Or no, he said everything's great, but then it started raining. He said,
just watch for debris on them left side tires.
The wind has just picked up, and the showers are on the way. Jeff Hammond.
Now we're going to find out who can sit on that hot stove, as they say, and sweat them bullets and get by with it. Michael Waltrip and several of these teams are going to have to stop here in the next 5 to 6 laps. It'll be real interesting to see how this little scenario plays out. Now, the one thing I find interesting is for somebody like Sterling Marlin, who's going to be at the very back of the pack, he can come and get 4 tires if he wanted to, and he could really make things interesting.
Leaders are in.
But, Jeff, if I am Sterling Marlin, I'm at the back of the pack, I'm going to wait till I get one to go, and I'm going to just see if this rain comes.
That's exactly right. I'd stayed out, Jeannie.
Well, Larry Mack, that's the conversation that was going on in the 25th when they decided to gamble. Tony Stewart coming in, getting some right side tires and some fuel, and hoping that the gamble paid off. Dick?
Michael Waltrip taking 2 tires and a load of gas, and he's gone to Steve.
Gas only for Jimmy Johnson. He's away. Right side tires on the 24 of Jeff Gordon.
Cars that did not pit include Todd Bodine and Ricky Craven. Look at those dark clouds coming.
I mean, the 40 car, he's been in the pit. He topped up with fuel. He's got some laps to play with. I believe right at this situation right here, I'd have stayed out.
The youngest of the 3 brothers from Chemung, New York, Todd Bodine, is the new leader of the Daytona 500. Jimmy Spencer walked from his car. He was okay after that crash. We'll show it to you as it unfolds here.
Jimmy Spencer was trying to get around the outside as Jeff Green was spinning and just ran out of racetrack. Just wasn't enough racetrack up there to get by him, and he just clips him. Definitely sounded like the tire just blew on that thing right in the middle of turn 3 and 4.
Yeah. And Jeff Green is also out of his car and will take the mandatory ride to the infield care center. 96 laps complete.
They took the caution, so he won't be able to get this lap back. They had already taken the caution flag.
Well, that was a bummer. I mean, a few feet more and he'd got one of those laps back. Or a few feet less.
Mike Skinner will try to make it back around. He will make it to pit road in the Morgan McClure Pontiac.
I don't know about y'all, but my heart rate has picked up considerably.
Everybody's pulse rate goes up.
Rowdy goes right in front of all these cars. Everybody going to miss him?
Yes. He hits the outside ball hard again. Caution is out.
Oh, man.
What do you say, Darrell, all the time?
Cautions, precautions.
The defending champion of the Daytona 500, Ward Burton, driving for Bill Davis, crashes at lap 107.
And Dale Jr. gets a lap back.
Jimmy Johnson's crew chief, Chad Knaus, not happy. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. gains back 1 of the laps he's behind.
That's why you never give up. You know, you sit up there and you say, what the heck is he doing up there? Well, you never know what can happen.
And the good thing about it, no more cars than a lap down. Jeff, he's going to be able to come in, get 4 fresh tires, and go right back near the front again on the inside line.
Yes, he will. And the good thing about that, he's going to be in front of what's going to be happening behind Michael and the rest of these guys, because everybody realizes the race is going to be ended here very shortly if this weather looks like it does in Michael turn 2. If it comes back in, this race will be over. So basically, we're seeing a 10 to go or a 12 to go type race right now unfolding. Everybody's pushing and shoving. This is the race right now for the Daytona 500.
Because the caution flag comes out and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is ahead of the leader, he gets the free pass because the pace car picks up the leader. He gets to go all the way around.
And one of the most emotional speeches I ever heard was Jimmy Valvano, the coach. I mean, he said, don't ever give up. That's the way racers have to race. You can never give up because too many things can happen. You don't drop your head and pack up your toolbox and go home. You keep racing and you race hard, especially when you got a fast car.
Junior was 2 laps down. He's gotten 1 of those laps back. Let's show you what happened in number 22, the Dodge of Ward Burton at turn 4. He'll be coming from the right side of your screen.
It just looks like he was up in the high side, just lost it totally on his own. There wasn't no one near him in behind.
But this is hard impact on the driver's side right there, man. I think he lucked out, though. He hit the left front and then snapped it into the left rear. I don't believe the driver's door got a hard lick.
Gonna hook up Burton.
It's not a bad thing. If you need to kind of stay after it because the leader's gaining on you, you might do something different. Number 8 car, they'll argue like a flat left front tire.
Jeff, I think finally that fender rubbed that tire, but the caution is out, so what a break for him, because this is the competition caution right here.
Boy, that was a big break.
What a break.
It is lap 45, and NASCAR told the drivers in their mandatory drivers meeting this morning
Flat tire, Jack. Somebody. Got to get the car up first.
that if there was not a caution prior to lap 45, NASCAR would put one out so the drivers could evaluate tire wear.
And you heard him telling the crew we have to have the flat tire jack, because what he's talking about, the frame rail will be so low because that tire's flat, they have a jack that's a little shorter to get the left side up.
And what's amazing about this place is as much bumping and banging and all different grooves people run, we never have many cautions here.
And the reason he hadn't come to pit road yet, he's trying to get caught up with the field because the pace car just took the leader over there, so they'll be able to pit this time.
Sure, you got to be careful not to tear the whole nose off the thing.
But you're right, Larry. If he'd pitted this time, the pace car was so close to him, he would have lost a lap before they could get that tire changed.
Uh-oh, whoa, who is that?
I don't know, but he's
Kenny
in trouble.
Wallace, 23 car.
That'll be cautioned for the third time today at lap 107.
It's Kenny Wallace back there, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Against the back inside wall, guys.
Off turn 2. Down the back straightaway.
Most everything happens off turn 2 here. It's just so hard to get off of that turn. Boy, he has put that thing right to put the nose right in the wall.
That's the world's strongest fender burner right there.
He needs Big Fun or Big Show or whatever his name is to pull those out.
A little bit.
They got the whole front end. Might need a radiator.
10-4, take it to the garage if it's that bad.
Oh no, just tell me.
Come to Pier Road, come to Pier Road.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, Mike, it looks that bad.
Let's ride with Kenny Wallace through turn 2.
That thing just jumped loose. Maybe we'll see right here.
Yeah, let's see who's behind him here. Whoops.
One whack Jack.
Whoops.
Jack Sprague.
Yeah.
0 car.
Imagine that.
Now this puts the tire deal in perspective. 15 laps, everybody's to pit road for me.
Green, the pole sitter in Daytona.
Oh, trouble down here, guys. Going around. It's 0-1 car.
Nadu.
He got it. He got a little push. Here comes Jeremy. He got hit from the back.
All right, clear high.
Caution's out.
Jeremy got run into. He slowed down and he got run into from the back.
Lap 122, fourth caution of the day.
The 0-1 car got bumped in the rear. I didn't catch who hit it.
Never hit anything. Just get ready to knock the valence out a little bit. Other than that, nothing.
See if we can see what happened here. You see the 0-1 car's down low coming off of turn 4 here, and somebody nerfs him from the back. Here he comes right back here. There you go. Yikes.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car, the Budweiser car.
June bug.
Roof flaps come up. While this is happening, Jeremy Mayfield in the 19, he gets tapped.
Yeah, you can see the damage on the rear of his car. He checked up, and somebody ran in the back of him and spun him out.
Now, just before this, watch Tony Rain's car on the left of your screen in front of Dale Jarrett. Little piece of
I think that looked like, you know what that looked like? He's got damage in the rear. That's the bumper bar that goes up inside the rear.
Father on Monday. New daughter Natalie.
He actually spun out qualifying on Friday without any help. Dale Jr. here, and doesn't take much. Just a little. What happened? I think Nadu got back in the gas. Car got a little loose. Jr. had a run on him. Tapped him around.
Looking out the back of Jerry Nadu's car. I mean, the car's sliding around anyhow. It don't take much of a hit to send you around.
But you can hear the engine. He got back in the throttle. He squeezed up a little bit. When he did, Junior got in the back of it.
And he kept it off the wall. Now, Jeremy Mayfield's view.
It'd be the 43 car. I didn't get a good shot of who was behind Jeremy. There he goes.
Got booted. Now let's show you what happened on
problems, and then the frustration here. Does that start to mount when we see something like this? This was moments ago in the car of the league.
Yeah, I think sometimes you start trying to put pressure on yourself, knowing you need to have a good run, and all of a sudden you run into problems like you did early on, getting the spinner messed up, losing laps there. Now he's spinning up off the corner right there. This is not what you want to see as far as you want to think about trying to win the championship. You know, it's early in the season, but you don't want to wind up getting that situation right there.
All right, let's go down track.
And Junior was indeed loose. A single car spin.
And it just comes right out from under. And off of that corner, it's a little bit of dip in that turn right there, and they'll come around on you in a heartbeat.
Plus, Darrell, I'm sure he was starting to overdrive his race car because he was about to go a lap down.
Now look what happens in all this to that orange Chevrolet of Tony Stewart. The left front fender gets all banged up because right behind Junior, you'll see Kyle Petty come into view, and then Stewart.
It's Tony right there.
Matt Yoakum.
Mike, they did cut away about a 2-inch by
right down on that white line where he won this race a year
Turn
ago.
two, Jeremy Mayfield. A lot of smoke, a lot of fluid. And Dale Jr. also.
Dale Jr. 19.
Caution is out. Al, will Bobby Labonte get his lap back? Did they already take the flag?
There he comes. Here he comes.
Joe Nemechek's going to get his back. Casey Mears is going to get his back. Bobby Labonte gets his lap back. Tony Raines gets one back.
Matt?
Trouble on the 97, a flat right front. That's why you saw him slow down considerably and start to go to the high side.
Well, if you're going to have a flat, when somebody else brings out the caution, boy, that's the time to have it.
It's kind of like living a charmed life. Yeah, you can see it. It's flat over on the right side.
The caution.
Or I could do have a right front flat.
That's Kurt Busch. There is Junior on the inside, and for the second time today, round he goes.
Same place.
Comes back up in the racetrack. Benson gets by, and poor old Jeremy, he got spun out earlier because somebody spun in front of him. Got hit by the 43 car, and I believe he just got it again. Same place, just around she goes.
Let's watch it from Johnny Benson's on board.
Now, pit road was closed because of this right here. Here's Jeremy Mayfield in a 19 car. He's right there at the entrance of pit road.
Let's see what happened to him.
More than likely, he got nailed from the back again.
That's a bumper cam, real time. And here's what happened.
There he comes. He sees the car up in front of me, smoking. Bam. Get out that wall. All right.
You have help?
I'd say that 99 car may have assisted.
Mayfield to the garage. And pit stops. Show you where the rookies are in this race.
Oh, Gordon goes around.
He and Dale Jr. may have made contact, and Gordon's going to save it and keep it out of oncoming traffic. Jerry Nadeau also spins.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
7th yellow of the day at lap 298.
Joe Nemechek trying to come and get his lap back, but it's not going to work.
Boy, Jerry Nadeau doesn't want to pull out in front of all these guys. Come in here.
And Nadeau will not be able to stay on the lead lap.
Go real far.
Let's see what happened to Jeff Gordon.
My.
Right in the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 8 car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't get in trouble.
I can tell you what that's all about. Dale Jr., a couple laps down, he passed Gordon going into 3 over there and slid up in front of him. And I don't know if that's, I don't know what happened after that. You'd have to ask them.
And we've been 7 laps since we pitted. Looks like most of the leaders are going to come to pit road, but this definitely puts them all in the window. They could go to the distance to the end. All the lead lap cars to pit road. Except Bobby Labonte in the 18 car. He stayed out.
100 laps. Ricky Craven crashing coming off turn number 4, sliding to a stop in the infield grass. He's gotten going again and will come back to his pit.
Him and Larry Foyt were doing something here. Let's see what happened.
Looked like maybe, I know it went behind that pole, like maybe Craven got in the back of Larry Foyt, turned him sideways, and then he came back down across Ricky Craven.
Okay, so many times here, and it seems like it's here more than any place I know of. Guys see somebody coming, and they start to get out of their way, and they end up inside of somebody, get a little arrow loose like that right there, and around they go.
Dale Jarrett, 88, hard outside wall.
Caution, let's see who can get a lap back from Earnhardt Jr.
He's going to let them all. He's going to let every one of them have their lap back.
There goes Rusty, the 2 car.
I think he's trying to actually give the 29 his lap back, and Rusty slipped in there and got one too.
And Terry Labonte in the 5 is going to get his back.
Ricky Rudd.
Yes.
And that's it. Robbie Gordon comes up a bit short. But Dale Jarrett, last week a winner, and this week headed home early.
Yeah, it's just when they're that close together and you're on the outside and somebody's down under you, a little bit of air off of your spoiler and the end of the wall you go.
That shows you how hard that car hit the outside wall. That's one of his rear springs laying at the bottom of the racetrack.
These cars they never look like they're carrying the kind of speed they are.
All right, let's have a look at Steve Park and Dale Jarrett right there on the right side of your screen. Park held up by Kenny Wallace there.
See, Park's car just bobbled a little wee bit, and then Dale was right out there beside of him, and he just slid right into the car and knocked him loose. That little wiggle of the car, it's air. That's all air right there. He's just in it. See, he's got a car in front of him. He's got Jarrett on the outside of him, and the car just goes free. And when it does, it bobbles, and you try to correct it, and you shoot into the guy beside you.
Here's a different angle.
This is one of when you're in a situation like this, cars all around you, cars sometimes are very, very unpredictable. And that doesn't look like it's a very hard lick, but look what it did to that race car.
Jeannie?
Well, in Kevin Harvick's attempt to get that lap back, he made a little contact.
I said that I thought that was not a good call, and Michael and I must have agreed, and that is the first time in his 39 years I think we've agreed on anything.
Dale Jarrett out of his car. He is okay, but he's waiting on the protagonist. And now going to have a walk down to the track apron and hop aboard the ambulance for the ride to the care center. He and Steve Park got together in turn 2, and Jarrett, last week's winner, is out of this race.
Bad day for Robert Yates Racing. Dale Jarrett wrecks just a few laps ago. Elliott Sadler in the 38, his teammate, blows up. Short day for both those teams.
Yeah, he was just, I think, didn't he say number 1? I thought he was pointing at number 1.
Here's another look at it. Now watch Kenny Wallace on the left. That kind of holds up Park and tries to get outside behind Jarrett. Not quite enough room. From Bill Elliott. ...134 laps complete. We're under caution in the UAW Daimler Chrysler 400. Trouble in turn 4, Jeff. Jamie McMurray is around. Big cloud of smoke.
Caution is out.
Keep her down the bottom there, buddy.
No contact.
Keep it running. Come on.
But half the field about stacks up in the
They
cloud
can't
of
see
smoke.
him. You can't even see that. You know, we can't see him come through the smoke. McMurray's already gone. These other guys back here don't know what the heck's going on.
Did the leader get the caution?
I think he is just now coming to the caution for the first time.
And one car moving very slowly. That's Schrader. And here comes Junior.
Here comes Ryan Newman trying to get that second lap back. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it?
Oh,
no.
man, almost. I think he missed it by about a foot.
But turn 4, the smoke from Jamie McMurray's spin completely covered up turn 4.
Man.
Now here's Newman.
Boy, that was yikes. Not quite.
Not quite. Close,
nice,
but not.
Nice try. Let's see if we can look down here and see exactly what happened. There's Jamie. He's up behind Spence.
Jimmy just went by Jamie for position.
Oh, he just got down low. You get down there like that. We saw Todd Bodine do that yesterday in the Busch race. You're in the gas. Your car's a little snug, all of a sudden the back end snaps out.
Dick Berggren.
Last week's winner, Dale Jarrett. This week, crash into the wall. What happened out there?
Got hit. Not much else you can say. You know, I was trying to give people plenty of room. Car was pretty good, and just trying to get ourselves to the point of being able to see what we could do at the end.
It's a pretty heavy disappointment on this man's face, Mike.
Yes, it is.
Now, this pretty much throws the strategy out the window. There you see Steve Park in the one car getting in the left rear of Dale Jarrett, sending into the outside wall, what Dale Jarrett's talking about.
More problems, Matt. This is his right rear tire. This is an inner liner, a tire within a tire. This is the outer part of the tire. It came off and wrapped itself around the rear end housing of the 42.
Guys, turn 2,
We
big.
had trouble on the racetrack.
Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon in the 24 car.
Bunch of cars, more cars.
Mike Skinner
They
on the
can't.
wall.
Nobody can see. There's so much smoke they can't see where to go.
Now, Ryan Newman in the 12th, he will get this lap back, so he'll be back on the lead lap with a lot of the lead lap cars over there cracked.
Oh, they're all wadded up over there. There's cars everywhere.
Mostly Mike Skinner, Rusty Wallace,
This wasn't our
and Jeff
day, guys.
Gordon.
I tell you.
Larry Foyt is also involved.
That was Jeff
And
Gordon.
Is that Kurt Busch down against the apron in turn 2? It is.
That was Jeff Gordon's radio. He was telling his crew, look, it just wasn't our day. It just wasn't meant to be.
I had him in the pool.
I had the 97.
Matt?
And Mike, right before Jeff Gordon said it just wasn't our day, he said, I'm going to take it back to the garage, boys. It looks pretty bad.
Yeah, I think all of them are headed for the garage. The 4 cars involved. Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch, Mike Skinner, and Larry Foyt. Skinner's car might make it back to the garage.
Kurt Busch going to make it around, but he's got a lot of damage, and Skinner's car is just wadded up.
Busch is going to stay out. They're going to try to fix it for the Las Vegas driver. And
I think Rusty he got the blunt of that. He went hard in that outside retaining wall. He's out of the car. You can see him standing there. He's okay. There goes Kurt to the garage.
So 5 cars involved. Let's have a look here in turn 2.
I think that yellow car on the inside gets in. Yeah, it gets up into Rusty.
That's Mike Skinner in the 4.
And here comes the Gordon. He's in the smoke. He had no idea where anybody is. And he gets into the Skinner's car.
You know, Darrell, that's right there in turn 2. We've seen that a lot. That's what happened with Dale Jarrett and Steve Park. It's like the car in the bottom just can't stick there and gets into the car up above him.
Larry, when you enter turn 1 here, you can just really stay in the throttle and carry a lot of speed down into that corner. But right in the center, when the car needs to rotate, if it doesn't cut for you, it slides up a little bit. Here comes Gordo. He can't see. There's so much smoke right there. You can't even see his car. He has no idea where anybody is.
We couldn't see it, so you know he couldn't see out of that smoke.
And you know his spotter Ron Thiel couldn't see it either. Let's ride with Robbie Gordon.
When you make it, you say, I'm getting out of here.
As quick as I can.
I can. Third gear, I'm out of here.
With Phil Elliott.
Now watch, he goes into this cloud right here, just wondering where everybody went. The spotter's probably telling him right now.
He almost completely stopped. In fact, he did stop for a second.
Well, I bet that's my spotters always say, I can't see, stop now.
And the only thing that could happen there is somebody hit you in the back possibly. But you got to take your chances.
More probably than possibly. But Elliott snuck through there. We'll get a damage report when we come back. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Mike Skinner gets into Rusty Wallace and touches off a multiple car crash. Heavy damage to Jeff Gordon and Kurt Busch. Todd Bodine, Larry Foyt also involved. Jimmy Spencer.
A lot of these cars back here, Mike, what they got is got run into when they couldn't see where they're going. They got run into behind, like we were talking about Bill Elliott. You got to slow down, but you hope you don't get run into by someone.
Little left front damage to Todd Bodine as well.
Boy, we got a battle coming back here. Jimmy Johnson sideways. Him and Farley got together.
How did that car miss him?
He had he's never lifted out of the throttle yet. Jimmy hadn't.
I mean, that was a battle for 8th position, and John Andretti in the 43 just made it by. Dale Earnhardt Jr. did beat teammate Michael Waltrip for 2nd place back to the line.
Jimmy Johnson.
And he's sitting there watching all these points go down the drain.
Gets his car refired and he'll come across. And another huge smoke up of turn 4. So here comes Johnson. He's going to make the flag.
He'll come across 11th, the last car on the lead lap.
they would have thrown off Sparks.
Sparks, they'd have been sparking. Watch it.
Here's what happened. Last lap, Marlin inside, Johnson outside.
This was a battle for 8th coming to the checkered flag.
Up, Sterling moves up just enough to get into the left rear, Jimmy. Now, I'll tell you, this man does a whale of a job in that 43 car. And Jimmy does a whale of a job keeping that thing out of the fence. He never lifted out of the throttle.
Let's go on board. Let's see how this unfolded.
But you know, Darrell, we saw that so many times.
Listen, that is today. He never lifts. He stayed in that thing and spun it all the way to the infield to keep it from backing up in the fence. If he'd have locked it down, John Andretti would been in his door.
And Newman and trouble. Jerry Nadeau, the second place car spins.
And he'll probably, he gets it turned back around, because if he hadn't, he'd have went to the bottom of the racetrack. The caution is out.
Did he make contact?
I don't think so, Darrell.
Matt Kenseth spins coming off turn 2. I think he might have got tagged from behind trying to slow up.
That can happen so easily off that corner over there. You come through 1 and 2 wide open, and somebody lets up in front of you, you can't help but get in the back of them. I don't think Nadeau hit anything.
He went in all by himself, Darrell, and I'm not sure if the car got upset on entry or if something happened in the middle of the corner.
I don't see damage on the car whatsoever. I think he was very, very, very lucky.
I thought Nadeau was French, not Irish. But this weekend, everybody's Irish. And you take all the shamrocks you can get.
Well, he just made a big withdrawal from the luck bank. I can tell you that.
When you're running second, you spin in front of the whole field coming at you in the middle of the corner.
And a car that somebody doesn't run into you and you don't hit the wall, I guess I would call that
trips.
I guess I would call that good luck.
You said it.
And we've only run about 6 laps. I'm going to anticipate most of the leaders will stay out, but probably Jerry Nadeau, Matt Kenseth will be to pit road for 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, the back part of the field will come down pit road. Here he goes. He just gets in there.
That's where Jamie McMurray clipped Matt Kenseth in the 17. Jamie McMurray in the 42. That was right over in the middle of turn 2 after Jerry Nadeau had spun.
You know, I think Larry, and I'm not sure, we'll see it from further back. Jerry's already around, but you can see he was all by himself and did not make contact with the wall or another car. Let's see if Kenseth comes into play here.
They all have to go to the apron because they can't see for the smoke. That's what happens. Everybody goes down on the apron. They can't see for the smoke. You get down there, it's real dirty and sandy. That apron is just really, really slick.
There's where Kenseth and McMurray got together right there.
Yep. You get down on that apron, and even when you're trying to come in pit, we'll probably see it before the day's over with down here in turns 3 and 4. There's Nadeau. He's already turned around 3 times and headed in the right direction.
You know,
that's just Jamie was down in the bottom there, and it's so dirty and there's so much sand and grit down there that got on his tires, and he shoved up into Matt Kenseth, who was trying to avoid Nadeau.
19 cars stayed out, but I want to tell you one surprise. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he gets him 4 fresh tires on his first caution.
Spencer going after.
Oh, here we go. Trouble on the front.
Jack Sprague in the 0 car.
Straighten it up. Keeps it out of harm's way.
Caution is out again.
Man, everybody's running into each other. There's been about 2 or 3 wrecks down this front straightaway.
The leader's going into turn 3. He's trying to get it going here and stay on the lead lap, and he will.
Got these cars all bunched up like this on the start, and they just can't get away from each other. And I'll tell you, a good handling car will run over a bad handling car here more than any place else.
That's what happened to Tony Stewart last year in that race where he ran over Buckshot Jones.
When your car's handling real good, you're back in the throttle, you're making time. The cat in front of you's having a little bit of trouble, and he lets up out of the gas, and you're going to run into him.
When's the last time you saw 2 cautions in a row and no concrete contact?
Yeah, we hadn't. When the wall, we talk about the wall, and here comes Nadeau on the outside of Sprague here. Looked like Sprague just was down low, trying to keep, trying to stay in the throttle up off of turn 4, and the thing just come around. The track must be really slick right now.
Well, I tell you another thing, Dale. Remember, it's rained here since 1 o'clock yesterday. Stopped raining finally this morning. This racetrack is what we call green. There's no rubber on it. There's not a lot of grip.
When you come off a corner here and you got down underneath somebody like that and you got a lot of steering input, got the wheels really cut hard left, and you're trying to stay in the throttle, the thing just will spin out with you just like that.
So Jack Sprague makes a withdrawal from the luck bank.
Another one.
You make deposits to the concrete. Withdrawals from the luck bank.
Looks like most of our leaders are going to come to pit road now, except for the ones that pitted on the last caution. The only one that stayed out that didn't pit the last caution was Jimmy Spencer in the 7 car. But here comes Elliott's a gutsy move this early in the race, and there it is. He's in trouble.
Yeah. He just got into Sterling, and Sterling got into the wall, I believe.
Sterling's left front fender is killed as well.
This track.
There, Sterling's in the wall. Turn 1.
Hard.
Bobby Labonte's in trouble. The 18
Caution is out,
car.
bud.
18
Caution is
cars
out.
wrecking.
How's your car, buddy?
29
You all right?
cars spun.
74's in it, and Sprague and Harvick are there.
Caution is out. I mean, I think that was a product from what happened all the way over here on the front stretch.
That started off at turn 2.
Yeah, started over there.
Got everybody wadded up there behind them, and they just know where to go.
Trying to pass the slower car of Brett Bodine.
Yep.
This track is only so wide. Patience is a virtue, but gosh, Darrell, it's so hard to be patient.
I don't think I've ever seen these guys racing as hard as they are right now early in a race like this here at this racetrack. Yeah, 48 car is going to have damage, and certainly had probably ruined Sterling's day right there because he got damage on both sides of his car.
This was coming in off the front stretch into turn 1.
Sterling can't turn the car. The left front fender's got the steering locked up.
Let's look up toward the top of the frame right over here.
Yeah, he's
now it's going to unfold right here.
Yeah, he just, the left front tire was rubbing on the fender and it wouldn't turn going in the corner.
And there Bobby Labonte, he may have got tagged from behind, and he gets hit by Kevin Harvick in the 29 as well.
I don't think I've seen a race start here like this in a long time where everybody's so impatient.
Now to this caution, everybody's on pit road except for Dale Jarrett in 88 and Jeff Gordon in the 24. Everybody else is on pit road for 4 tires. Steve Burns.
Larry Mack, Dale Earnhardt Jr. says car has freed up considerably. They'll make a small air pressure adjustment and a wedge adjustment. 4 tires for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Matt Yoakum.
And Tommy Baldwin came on the radio to Jimmy Spencer said, all right, we are going to pit this time. As they kick in a little bit of the sheet metal damage to the left rear corner, they're going to make an air pressure adjustment in the right front. Jimmy said his car was good, but he just needed some help up off the corner. It was just too tight.
Dick Berggren.
Sterling Marlin, winner of this event last year. Car is really torn up, Mike. The right side of the car is well caved in. There's a big hole in the left front fender. They're going to have to remove the radiator. It has a puncture wound in it. Bobby Labonte is about 2 garage stalls down. Trunk has been ripped off that car. Nose is all pushed in. Boy, there's some beat up stuff awful early in this race.
Again, this all began as Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, and Sterling were working in a tight pack there trying to pass other cars.
Just misjudged a little on Jimmy's part, and he moved over into Sterling, got Sterling up in the wall. Sterling goes down here, and he must have a right front tire down, or else that left front is hung up in the fender, and he can't turn the car. He drives right into the wall.
You saw Robbie Gordon shoot through there. Let's look from his point of view. 3rd caution of the day here at Darlington. Now you see why this track is too tough to tame.
By during this Visa race break with Sterling Marlin.
Sterling, what happened out there?
I guess started lap before. Had a good run on a slower car and raced all the way down in the corner and won. And I had to let off or wreck us both and try to get through 1 and 2 and come on. And then Jimmy got a good run on me off of 2. And got under me going in 3 side by side and come up off 4. And I guess it was racing, and it wasn't Jimmy's fault, wasn't my fault. Jimmy just got loose and slid up my hum bumpers and turned us both in the fence. And got in here, it wouldn't turn.
So nothing deliberate.
No, he just racing deal. And it's Darlington. I never seen the star of the race here, so many people 3 wide, and I mean just driving like it's 10 to go. And this place you got to be patient. We tried to be, but we got caught up in it.
It has been a wild race so far, Mike Joy.
Is skating, and at one point he said the front end, the tires were chattering.
Yeah, Steve, once and he's in trouble right there with Ward Burton in the 22 car.
Turn 1.
Company outside.
Caution is out.
That group of cars right there just kind of been all just Newman's been holding some of them up, and they've been all around him.
Now what's happening? They're trying to stay on the lead lap.
It's Buddy Baker spotting for him.
Larry Fort's going to get his lap back. Looks like along with Brett Bodine and Kevin Harvick trying to get their lap back. Ward's just having a tough time even getting up to speed, though, it looks like, to stay in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
He's going to make it around as Earnhardt brings the field slowly to the caution flag. Burton stays on the lead lap. Let's see what happened here in turn 1.
Ward just goes in down on the apron, and you can't go into that corner beside of someone. Something's got to give before you get there. You see Ward was all the way down on the apron. What Ward's hoping was that Ryan would let off a little early and give Ward the room to slide up in front of him. If a guy doesn't, you just about wreck every time going in there like that.
Remember what Dick Berggren said in the beginning. They told him at the NASCAR meeting this morning, you got to give. You can't take.
Normally you know you can't race somebody into that corner. The guy on the outside's the guy that has to lift.
From Kenny Wallace's point of view, there's the contact and the spin. Pits are open. You mentioned Buddy Baker as Ryan Newman's spotter. Baker won the Southern 500 here in 1970 and won this spring race. Ready, hard crash on the front straightaway.
Caution is out.
Boy, this is going to hurt a bunch of guys. Well,
yes,
let's see. No, I don't know, Larry. Pit road is pretty clean.
Yeah, but you had a lot of cars on pit road that had just went a lap down, and they'll have fresh tires. Mark Martin's over in the middle of 3 and 4 right now. Looks like Ricky Rudd's trying to come to get that lap back.
Coming inside.
And will. So will Larry. Looks like Larry Foyt.
One more.
And Martin eases to the caution flag.
I think, did Jarrett lose a lap?
Yeah, Dale Jarrett, who had pitted along with Rusty Wallace, Jeff Green, Jimmy Spencer, John Andretti, who caused the caution, all those guys had been on the pit road.
John Andretti had pitted 6 laps ago, and before that car even slid to the wall, the left rear sheet metal was all torn off it. Let's have a look here, top of your screen. Oh.
Looked like Jimmy Spencer in the 7 car got into his left rear. And Jimmy was one of the cars on fresh tires, too. He had just been to pit road about 4 or 5 laps ago. Man. Now, what that'll do for those guys like Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace, they will stay out.
Watch Craven. Watch Craven on this end of the racetrack. Really gets off of turn 4 hard. Here he comes. He's there. He'll make the move on him. Going down into turn 1, he's going to put the move on him.
3 laps to go.
Craven's going to, the thing that Craven is really good, he's good in 3 and 4. Looks like they're pretty even on this end of the racetrack.
Yeah, he don't really pull away from him coming off turn 2, but right here, going down into turn 3, this is where we'll watch him. 2.5 laps to go.
Watch this, here he goes. Craven gets that high right out next to that wall. Watch.
Right there.
Close.
Right there in the middle.
Cuts down, he's going to make it down. He's going to get down under him. That's not the way to do it, I don't know. Come on, baby, come on.
Side by side, 2 laps to go. Somebody's got to give, getting into turn 1.
Nobody. And in the wall goes Busch.
That was not a very good idea.
Look, the crossover move, he got into it.
Come on, clear. Good job, man. Hang in there.
And here comes Blaney. Blaney is now the best car on the track.
Oh, baby, I'm telling you, Kurt Busch is not going to give up the win.
No, he's not. They'll be coming to the white flag this time. Ricky Craven's not going to give up either.
Come on, Ricky.
He gets that run on the high side right there. Kurt Busch looks like he's struggling with his race car.
Here he comes. Here we go again. He's going to wait on this. He's going to put the crossover on it. He realized that wasn't a good move that last time.
White flag.
Here he goes. He's going to try to slide under him here. Come on, baby.
And Blaney's coming.
Both these cars are driving terrible right now. Half a lap to go.
Nah, they're driving good. Come on, baby. You can do it on this end of the speedway. Come off the 4 and get up alongside of him.
Half a mile
to
go.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Who's going to get off?
Here he comes. Here he comes. He's got him this time.
It's going to be a drag race. Wow. They touch. They touch.
Craven got him. Craven got him.
Craven got him.
And
Craven. All right. What a finish.
Have you ever?
No, I've never.
Wow.
What a finish.
That is one happy group right there.
That's one great race. I'm going to tell you, it's the goodest race I've ever seen at Darlington.
Scott Miller gets his first win as a crew chief.
Pontiac gets a win. Kyle Wells' engine program gets a win.
First year for that engine program.
And for the 5th time in Darlington history, a race is settled with a last lap pass. We didn't have a last lap pass for the win last year. That's the end of that.
That was at the start-finish line pass there. What a race.
I got to see this again.
I do too. Let's watch.
Coming off turn 4 onto the front stretch. That's about as close as it'll get right there.
And this right here, I don't know what kept them from both wadding them up down here in turn 1, but bam, oh boy, Craven really shot out into him.
It is amazing they didn't wreck after they crossed the start-finish line.
Darrell, if instead of Busch coming down into Craven, if he stays straight, does he beat Craven?
I don't think he had any choice, Mike, because Craven came off the bottom and really slammed into him. I think they got hooked together and couldn't get apart.
Look at Craven in there. Look at him fighting that steering wheel.
And it's a good thing that Pontiac's got the kick out on the nose.
Yeah, that was the difference.
But he wouldn't have won.
Look at how close this finish is. Right there. Wow.
Oh, baby.
And I'm going to tell you what, they didn't even need seats in these grandstands because nobody was sitting down.
And nobody's leaving. Look at this, right to the line. How close can you get it?
But now what's really, when they get on down here, I mean, I thought they were both going to wad him up and they'd have to take him to victory circle on the rollback.
Steve Burns with the runner-up.
All right, thanks, Mike. Kurt Busch, that was a hell of a race at the end. Tell us your point of view. Tell us about the last lap, last corner.
I had to get a lead. The power steering went away, and I've never felt a heavier car in the world. We dug and dug and dug, and like 10 to go, it finally just gave up altogether. And the car was so tight I couldn't hang on. And you know, it was an awesome race. I didn't give him room in 1, and he didn't give me room out of 4. It's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, this was some hard-fought racing.
Kurt, when you came across the start-finish line hooked together with a 32, did you know who got there first?
We came out of 4, and the wheel snapped out of my hands because I had no power steering. So looked like I turned into him, and I grabbed all the wheel I could to turn it back to the right. And I looked at his 8-post, and it was right here with my 8-post. So, you know, it's tough. We finished second again, and, you know, all the congratulations to the Rubbermaid team on what they do, all the hard work that goes into it. You know, we're just missing one little piece, and if we can get a full commitment and make sure that we run every weekend like we're supposed to, we can win some races. Thanks, Phil.
All right, let's go back up to the booth.
Kurt Busch will climb from 14.
Here comes Stewart on the outside.
Got trouble down in 1 and 2. Kyle Petty in the 45. No caution just yet. Now the caution is out. He's trying to get going before the leaders come around and put him a lap down. He'll make it too.
Same as yesterday. First caution of the day, lap 3.
For Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, he had jumped out to quite a lead. Let's look at the replay of Kyle's wreck down in 1 and 2.
He and Robbie Gordon might have gotten together there.
That's just casual contact here. That's two cars kind of fighting for the same place. Try to get to the bottom. You turn down a little early, and the guy didn't give you enough room. You're going to touch. You touch here, the cars are really light entering the corners. See everybody kind of trying to, you see Kyle trying to get down in front of Robbie. You always think early in the race, this is what you're thinking, that guy will give me a break. It's early in the race, he'll give me a break. You can't give a guy a break.
Ricky Rudd got a break because Kenny Wallace, who you're riding with, didn't run right over top of him right here.
Well, he did bump into him, and that's the other thing you worry about all day long is you see the wreck. You get on the brakes, the guy behind you runs over you.
From Ricky Rudd.
Wait, now go.
I mean, if you notice that shot right there, and we'll probably see it again here, the 31 just barely gets into Kyle. It don't take much to send you around here, Darrell. You're running around a half-mile racetrack at over 120-something miles an hour.
Like we said, you start the tires really, really low. Therefore, the cars are a little bit...
Kenny Schrader's car trouble. Turn 1, Michael Waltrip. Dave Blaney collects Dale Jarrett.
Ricky Rudd, the 21, just spreads his way through. Casey Mears, the 41, don't quite make it through, and here comes the leader.
Dustin, the 77, they've got the back end tore up a little bit, some front damage on the left front. He'll make it around here on pit road in a second. Rear end.
Initially, it was Michael Waltrip sideways, and you see a lot of damage to his Napa Chevy. But he wasn't alone in this one.
just gets loose up off the corner. Coming up off the turn, the car gets loose with him. Blaney tries to get out from behind him and can, and here comes Dale Jarrett. You cannot stop these race cars. You're going 120 miles an hour. You just got no way of stopping it in time to miss that wreck. Now watch Michael. Watch his hands. He comes off the corner. Did you see his hands? He got loose. Trying to fight it. Trying to fight it. Bam. Turns around looking right at Dale Jarrett.
Now, ride with Dale Jarrett. And Darrell, when Michael gets loose, what's that do to the driver right behind him?
Well, he's trying to avoid him is what he's trying to do.
Blaney, the hole closed up on Dale Jarrett.
And I'm sure the spotter's telling Dale Jarrett, go high, because Michael's down low, but he slides up in front of him.
And you'll see Dave Blaney. There's Michael loose. Dave Blaney can't arrest his forward progress.
And then Michael came down the racetrack. Blaney's trying to go by on the inside. They make contact.
That's a big hit for the guy that's third in points, Michael. Seventh in points, Dave Blaney, here early in this race.
Second caution of the day. Dale Jarrett's UPS Ford pushed behind the wall for more repairs as we go back to green.
We got trouble already.
Casey Mears, John Andretti, Todd Bodine on the restart.
Mears hits Todd Bodine again down on the apron, and the 54 car caution is back out.
All they did was wave the green flag.
John Andretti in the 43 there, he had been to pit road for some service.
And you want to know why you look in their record books over the last few years here, why you see two names, Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace? Look where they are.
Out in front of all this.
Way out there.
Well, Darrell, I've heard you say it many times, cautions breed caution.
And they do, and see what happens is you run a few laps here and you're better than the guy in front of you. So you get an opportunity on a restart, for instance. I'm going to get him now because he's holding me up, and things don't always work out. Plus, the other thing I didn't see those guys do, clean their tires up. A lot of debris, you spin the tires. Guy in front of you spins the tires, you got a good run on him, you bam into him.
All these shots right here, pretty normal looking shots for Bristol.
Now the field is all single file and accordioned up here as they come down to turn 3. Oh boy, that started when Todd Bodine got in the back. Was that Kyle Petty ahead of him?
Yeah, it was Kyle Petty in the 45.
And it's just a big accordion. You squeeze it, and this is what happens.
Yeah, and somebody goes and somebody doesn't. And when the guy doesn't go, he gets run over from behind.
Matt.
Mike, Dave Blaney overseeing the repairs to his car. Dave, what happened? I don't know. Michael just got real loose, and I just got into him before he could save his.
Jeannie.
Well, perfect timing, actually, for Michael Waltrip. They just had the tape and the bungee cords ready as they're trying to clean up from his last accident. Got sideways. He said, I got hit. The toes off. The back is bent, but it still drives fine. They've had a tug-of-war with the sheet metal. Dick?
16 crew members are right now working on Dale Jarrett's number 88 car. Brad Parrott, the crew chief, is at the front of the car. He is shouting instructions, trying to orchestrate the repairs to this car. The car was so badly damaged, Jarrett tried to get down pit road, turn left to get behind the wall. The car wouldn't even turn. They had to put it in the pits, pull the fender out, and go to work on the left front. This thing is badly bent up, Mike.
The Sawzall becomes your most important tool right here, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And, I mean, the biggest problem these teams have, especially when you're tore up and you're trying to stay on the lead lap, Mike, is you have no time to stop in your pits to work on your car. Remember, we saw how long the pit road is. Michael Waltrip, they need to work on their car. There just isn't enough time, even under caution.
20 laps, 3 caution flags. Could be a long day here in Bristol.
You're not out as long as she'll roll.
Turn 1, guys. Here anyway.
12's fun.
The 12 of Ryan.
48's around. He saves it.
Newman spun, and he caught a piece of Ricky Craven going by.
Caution is out.
Bring it around.
I think Craven's got quite a bit of damage to the right side.
Yeah, as Newman slid down the hill.
No damage to Benny.
Just a little bit, he caught Craven.
Here comes Newman. Let's see.
4 tires. 4 guys. 4 tires, fuel.
Yeah, Newman's got damage, pretty good damage to the right front, and Craven's got damage all down the right side of his car. See the fender all sticking out there on the 12. It's the other side of the car that's got the damage on it, the right side.
Going down the front stretch off into turn 1. looked like Tony, well, just like Ryan maybe came down into Tony, Darrell.
He just didn't, Ryan did not want to enter that turn on that, up on the outside because he's already loose.
And Sterling was on the bottom, I think it was Sterling, Marlin, underneath Craven. They bumped, and that shot Craven up into Newman.
I don't think Ricky's got a lot of damage, but he'll probably assess it here, let somebody look at it.
See who that was under Craven. It was Brett Bodine.
Yeah. Since he got into the nose of the 12 car, that's probably the softest part of the car that he could get into. It probably didn't do any suspension damage to the 32, although it did a lot of body damage, but that doesn't matter.
Kenny Schrader.
Stuck his way through there, didn't he?
Jarrett's stick was all drawn up, though.
There's the first contact. Watch Craven. He's trying to get low, but Bodine's already there.
I'd say that damage was mostly into the sheet metal on the right side of the 32 car, so I think he'll be okay. He just crumpled the old tide box up a little bit.
He did stay on the lead lap. Of course, he's on pit road right now. I'm sure for 4 tires, they'll look at that front end damage. Jamie McMurray, Joe Nemechek, Robbie Gordon, Steve Parker in as well. Matt Yoder.
Well, Larry Mack, Ryan Newman making some severe air pressure adjustments on the 12. Remember, this has not been a good racetrack for him. Finishes a 37th and 36th last year, hoping for better things today, especially after setting that new track record. Tinnick Berger.
Matt Kenseth qualified way back in the 37th spot, so this morning, crew chief Robbie Reiser told me that he was going to try a contrarian strategy as far...
We're under caution. We'll show you why in a minute. Mike Skinner's car hard hit in turn 2 and pit stops. Steve.
Jimmy Spencer wants no adjustments to Mongo. Just 4 tires for Spencer. Better stop this time. Let's go to Matt. Now Terry Labonte, no adjustments. Even though his car with a tick tight in the center, a chassis adjustment on Gordon's car. He was loose everywhere. It's going to be a race off. Looks like Gordon gets him, Mike.
I'm going to tell you what, Jimmy Spencer's crew, Tommy Ballin led. I mean, they had great pit stops last week at Darlington. They're backing it up here today.
They got the next best, not the best, not the A and B pit, but they got the C pit.
They don't have to fight anyone coming in, and he can stay back in his box and not get blocked in by Dale Earnhardt Jr.
There is Jimmy Spencer's crew.
I think Junior was a little bit wanted by a... I think he didn't like him. I think he was mad at Mongo. Mongo, why don't you go on?
Does your dog bite?
It's not my dog, right? Bam.
Now remember, no speedometers in these cars. During the pace lap before the race, the pace car leads everybody around at the pit road speed so they can get that measurement on their tack. And as they say in the ads, your mileage may be different.
I'll tell you what, these guys may be happy, but I'm going to tell you a crew that's not going to be happy. Tony Stewart, he was 4th when that caution came out, and he goes out 15th. Here we'll see our pit stop efficiency, and remember the pit road time over here, that's the entire time spent on pit road including, but look at Earnhardt Jr., 29 seconds. He goes from 5th to 3rd, but I'm going to tell you, the real winner right there, 3rd to 2nd. I know it was only one position, but it puts you right up there behind that leader.
Mike Skinner fought the wall in turn 2, and the wall won. That right front was on fire when it came in. Dick Berggren.
Mike Skinner, that was an awfully hard hit. I watched you shaking your hand, your leg. Are you okay?
I will be. I just shook up a little bit. Man, you can hit hard at Bristol as you can anywhere, I guess. Kodak car is awful good. I was really proud of our Pontiac today. Right front tire blew out. We must have ran over something.
He's got medical people all around him. He's going to go off to the care center and get taken care of, Mike.
There's the aftermath of Mike Skinner's hard shot into the turn 1 and 2 wall, the home track for Morgan McClure.
He tucked right up behind people.
Turn 2, Jack Sprague.
Caution is out.
He and Johnny Benson got together there, lap 149, 7th caution.
Tell anything about the car? thought it was pretty good there, but so I got shuffled there. I think it's better because I was just starting to work on the 22 and that bar got in there. I'll put 4 more tires on it.
Jack Sprague underneath Benson.
It's almost the same thing I think that we saw happen to Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart a while ago. I mean, he would just kept coming down and there was nowhere else for him to go.
Get a run on a guy, you know you got the advantage on the bottom right there, but the guy's got to give you a little room. If you get that left wheel down on the apron as you enter that corner, you got to be able to slide up. And with that car on the outside of you, you try to keep from taking both cars. That's what you try to do.
Watch this near miss of Robbie Gordon's.
Jamie McMurray in the 42 just sneaks by as well.
150 laps. Jeff Gordon leads. This is NASCAR on Fox. Spencer. By the way, trouble on the back. Trouble on the back.
Jack Sprague, caution is out.
I tell you guys, going to be glad to see this, Larry, because I was watching him as Dale Jr. He was falling back. He lost a couple of spots.
Now, the last caution flag came out when Sprague got into Johnny Benson. This time, Sprague spins. Was he alone?
I thought I saw a 10 car go by at some point in time there. I don't know how close, but
8 caution today.
We need to note that Joe Nemechek in the 25, Jeff Gordon's teammate, actually got his lap back at Jimmy Spencer at the line that time.
No, he's already gone.
Boy, Johnny Benson was very lucky.
Sprague may have been looking back saying, whoa, here comes that 10 car. I better, and then while he was looking back, he got behind on his
But look
steering.
how high he was in turn 2. He was up there where there's no grip. We've seen so many cars spin on the high side of the exit of these corners.
I'm telling you, the spotter said, hey, watch that 10 car. He's coming up on you, and he was. He was looking at him in the rearview mirror.
Now we're seeing some of our leaders come to pit road, but just like before, Jeff Gordon in the 24 stayed at somebody has to give. Oh, there it is.
Oh, boy. Somebody's giving, somebody's taking, somebody's giving and taking.
And nobody wrecked.
Mark Martin.
They do. Here they go.
I spoke too soon.
Somebody had to wreck in that chain of events.
And they're still spinning here at the start-finish
30
line.
car gets his lap back. 19 car does.
Now, Jeremy was 3 laps down, so he'll get one of those laps back.
9th caution lap, 199.
They couldn't keep, it just accordions, as you said, and it just kept, somebody's going to pay the price sooner or later.
Turning that first pit stop. We got a crash cart, guys. It's sealed.
Crash cart.
Now, Darrell, this wreck happened in the middle of the front stretch, but it all started about the middle of the back stretch.
Dale Jr. got in trouble off of turn 2, racing Kyle Petty. Yep. They carried that all the way around to here before somebody actually got wrecked.
It started there, a quarter of a lap ahead of Mark Martin.
Right. Now, you see the 99, he gets into Dale Jr., the 48 gets into the 99.
6 gets into the 40.
The 48 goes down under the 99. He has to check up. Here comes these other guys, and so on, and so on, and so on. Or Scooby, Dooby, Dooby.
Maybe the driver can, Darrell, but can these cars react quickly enough to miss this kind of thing? You got people and hits the turn 2 wall, surrendering 5th place.
No caution. He gets it back going.
He was by himself. Just lost it.
I don't think his car's in very good shape now, though, guys. I mean, stuff hanging all off of it, flopping around. It looks like a Bristol car, but I don't think that's the way to go. See what happens here. He and Junior were racing each other real hard there a minute ago. Down into the corner he goes, and the back end snaps loose.
Kissed it pretty hard to that right rear quarter panel. Didn't look like it hit any of the wheels or tires.
I think his right rear is damaged. He's going to have to come to pit road or wreck.
You hear him? He says he feels like he has a flat tire unless he's got debris on the tire. Steve Burns.
Larry, and he pitted last on lap 152, so he's been on that set over 60 laps.
And the more laps you get on these things, yeah, I mean, it's a good tire for here, but the more laps you get up out of the groove, it's just hard to control that race car. Well, he's on the front stretch. Gary Nadeau in the 01.
Ryan Newman caused that. He and the 01 got together coming up off the 4.
Caution is out.
That's too bad.
Nobody gets a lap back from Jimmy Spencer. Now Jerry Nadeau.
Be ready.
Jerry Nadeau was
front end, bad front end damage.
He's got some fire up under the car. He needs to get that thing fired. There you go, buddy.
Don't know if he'll be able to steer that one back around to the garage or not.
If we see that again, I think you'll see the 12 car and he were having a real go at it. 12 car is one lap down.
Here's a look, Darrell.
01 got under the 12 going into turn 3. Ryan went up the hill and then 01 got up under him. They start off the corner here and I think the 11 may. I think he kind of checked up and got run over from the back.
Chain reaction again. We've seen it all day long. Now, Mike and Darrell, this is a box I don't like to be painted in. Kevin Harvick in the 29, Terry Labonte in the 5. It's been about 80 laps since they were to pit road, but if they pit and it looks like they're going to stay out, if they pit, you go from running second and third all the way back to about 26th and 27th, but you're sitting out there and you're halfway through a run.
Bad when you got to pound the hood pins with a hammer to get them off. Here's how Dale Jr. saw that one. Jerry Nadeau has climbed out and walked away.
I don't think he's working on his fitness program right now either. Dale Jr. got a little damage in that. Nothing serious, I don't think, but he did cave the grill in. He's not happy with the 12 car. And
I mean, this place here, you'll see drivers do things that you've never seen them do before and you never would expect them. As I've said time and time again, without being redundant, you have to check those feelings in out there on the highway and leave them there while you're here.
And you can't let something like that happen and let it go. You got to get rid of it.
Jeannie?
Jerry, you want to tell us what happened out there? Why you were upset? Why you ran to the 12 pit?
It's typical Bristol. Obviously, our minds are somewhere else. It's just a shame. We had such a great car for the U.S. Army Pontiac, and the damn lab car can't use his head. I don't know what Ryan was doing. I mean, I was underneath him. He kept coming down. I tried it for 4 freaking laps, and obviously Brett Bodine got into me. It's a shame. I hate it for the U.S. Army Pontiac. Our hearts are with our soldiers today.
What did you tell him when you got over there?
He needs to use his head.
Jerry Nadeau out of the race, most likely with a lot of damage to the front end of his car after battling Ryan Newman and then
working with that throttle. Ricky Rudd, the 21.
I don't think
Bobby Labonte, the 18 car. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Bobby was the first car to go around.
97's there too.
Kurt Busch. They're trying to get going. Here comes Jimmy Spencer, the leader, off turn 2.
Should make it okay.
Kurt Busch gets going.
I don't know that those cars got much damage on them. 97 looks clean. Got a little dent in the right front, not much. Bobby's got a little damage to the right rear quarter panel. I don't see no big problem with any of those cars.
Let's see what happened. Left side of your screen, Bobby Labonte, the purple car.
He just gets turned around by his teammate. His teammate, I think, may have given him a little punt there, but the 2 car checked up in front of him.
Teammate Tony Stewart in that 20 car.
So that'll put us under the 11th caution flag of the day. Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, you're watching NASCAR on Fox.
To bring the car in and 38 car.
right there. I think you notice he's got some debris hanging out the right side of the car, and I think Steve Burns is down there and can tell us more about it.
Yeah, Jeff, it's a tough break for Elliott Sadler. He had raced his way into the top 10 after fighting an ill-handling race car, but NASCAR has black flagged him. They said there's sheet metal hanging off the right side door area, and he's going to have to bring that 38 car to pit road.
Yeah, Jeff, just as we look at some of what's going on here at Bristol, a thought on Jerry Nadeau's comments following the incident with Ryan Newman?
Well, as you can see right now, there's a lot of close contact right there. That appears to me to be a part of another car's bumper, and it probably got together right there and it's ripped it loose and is actually stuck right in the area of the jack stop. You see right now the jack man jacking the car up, and they're going to try to extract it. There it is. They pulled it out, and that's all it was. He got together with another race car and ripped that bumper support away, forced him to come to pit road. But now they're going to take the advantage of it, put 4 tires on him, hopefully be able to work his way back up here. Elliott being a former winner here at Bristol.
Right, and that was in the then 21 car.
21 car, that's
Ricky
right.
Rudd has. So let's go back for a moment and talk about, as we see Elliott Sadler pull away, Ryan Newman and what happened here as Jerry Nadeau was very frustrated afterwards.
Well, you see right there, go down the corner, and it looked like everybody kind of checked up the 2 car, then the 18, the 20 got in the 18, around with the 97. So, I mean, a lot of close racing here. As you'll see in a minute, you'll also see the 21 car. He got booted in the back end by the 49 car of Kenny Schrader.
And this is from the onboard with the Motorcraft of Ford Motorcraft Air Force car. Ricky Rudd is having a great run after starting 34th. He has worked his way through a number of mishaps, and that's part of surviving at this track.
Yeah, when you come to Bristol, it really is all about survival. You try to get track position.
He's about to lose a position to Robbie.
Oh, Terry Labonte. Oh, man. And Robbie Gordon, Brett Bodine, and the accordion squeezes together again. Kyle Petty, Kenny Schrader with damage. Oh, just say half the field.
And they just keep stacking up back there. In fact, Terry Labonte going back up on the racetrack, Brett Bodine, they rode back together again right there.
Mitchell, both ends.
Don't think Terry's very happy. He had a great run going, Darrell.
Terry Labonte was in 3rd place.
Right side's first, fix the damage.
Kenny Wallace being held.
I don't think Kenny was driving, coming around the outside like he was trying to get a lap back, but the pace car was already out on the racetrack. He must not have known that.
Larry, look at Terry Labonte's pit and all that damage. Now, this is where your over-the-wall crew really earns their money if they're going to be able to keep him from losing another lap. First, let's have a look at replays here. Watch the 5 car of Labonte toward the bottom of your screen. Gets tagged by Brett Bodine.
There you see Robbie Gordon gets to the side of Brett Bodine on the left side, and they just start stacking up behind him. Kenny Wallace there at the bottom of the screen in the 23.
Now Terry's trying to get away and move through here, and he gets bumped by Kenny Wallace. Brett Bodine slides back into him.
As we talked about earlier, Darrell, it don't take much to send a car spinning around here.
Jr. Misses it, gets through. Wow. Now, Darrell, Brett Bodine was a lap down or more, 2 down. Terry Labonte was coming around him on the outside. Did Brett get into Terry, or did Terry think maybe he had Brett cleared?
I can't tell. As a driver on the lead lap, you expect a guy a lap or 2 down to show you some courtesy. That's what you expect. Of course, you get the unexpected a lot of times, too.
Terry Labonte now is going to be back in about 28th spot, 3 laps down. In fact, he goes to the garage area. He went down pit road, made that left-hand turn into the garage area.
Dick Berggren?
Jeff Burton just keyed his radio, Mike. He's running in 4th spot. He said, I get the impression that if you're running up front, it's a lot more calm. And his crew chief, Paul Andrews, said, stay up front. Well, of all of our cars, I tell you, we're getting a lot of different pit agendas right now. Kevin Harvick in the 29, he's still staying out there. He's been out there over 100 laps, but Sterling Marlin decided in that 40 car to give up a top 10 running spot to come to pit road.
People ask me, how'd you win 7 races in a row there? Because I never was in the back.
Every time I came here, I qualified up front, and I stayed up front.
6 cars officially involved in this crash at turns 1 and 2, putting us under the 12th caution of the day at lap 243. Here's another look, folks, and you make the call as Terry Labonte tries to clear Brett Bodine.
Well, actually, you know, Terry had him cleared off at turn 4, and I just don't think that he expected Brett to come back and drive in that hard once he got by him.
And I think that's the difference, Darrell. Here you'll see again from Dale Jr. Watch the position of the yellow line, watch Brett's car, and watch Labonte coming around the outside here.
Yeah, that happened pretty early on the straightaway, actually. But again, I think Terry was ahead of him and had no idea that
McMurray got into the back of Robbie Gordon, then he got tagged by Ward Burton.
Oh no, Tony Stewart got into Ricky Rudd, and he's up in the fence.
And somebody spun Bobby Labonte again.
Labonte was spun again.
Jamie McMurray had climbed well up in the field after that dead last start. He was in the top 10.
I don't think Bobby Labonte hit anything.
But he was blocked by Jamie McMurray over there. He just barely got going before the leader came. Let's see.
No, I don't think he hit anything. I think he just slid up there and stopped.
McMurray got in another one of those accordion deals. McMurray got in the back of Robbie Gordon. Ward Burton got in the back of McMurray. Chaos ensues.
Robbie Gordon is, you know, kind of having a problem with his car. It's not handling all that well.
He's 2 laps down.
McMurray gets into the back of him, and here we go.
And then McMurray looked like he checked up. That's when Ward Burton in the 22 got to the back of him, and the chain reaction continues.
And here comes more.
Yeah, watch Tony Stewart. Oh, nah, not good.
That's a hard hit.
Not good.
Let's ride with McMurray. Ride with Ricky Rudd.
We've seen more shots of Ricky Rudd in Rex and
missing them.
He gets down here and he sees the 42. He moves up. The problem was Tony Stewart's there. I don't think it hurt Ricky's car all that much.
Dodged another one. And under caution coming to pit road.
I think Tony thinks that he probably shouldn't have moved up over there.
We used to call that the chrome horn, Darrell, but they're not chrome anymore.
These boys need a little patience here. What's going on?
Just Bristol.
The Bristol Stomp. Yeah, the kids in Bristol.
There's a little anger management going on in the hood of Jamie McMurray's car. 13th caution of the day. There's that song we know so well.
The kids in Bristol are sharp and physical when they do.
Had a caution while we were away.
Caution is out now, though, not for this, but it is out.
Kenny Schrader pounded the wall. And the caution is now out. Schrader's taken his car behind the wall, and there is the caution flag, Dale Jarrett.
Jimmy Spencer's trying to get a lap back. He will not get it back. Bobby Labonte was smart enough not to let Jimmy Spencer have a lap back at this place.
He did make that mistake at Atlanta, and he got lectured pretty hard by his crew chief and a lot of other people. I don't think he's going to do that today.
But this is the break Bobby Labonte, Kurt Busch, Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd, and Greg Biffle was looking for. Dale Jarrett, where it happened, Darrell, you almost think a tire went down.
Well, that car, it has no front end on it. So I saw him go down on the apron down here, and the thing is damaged so badly, he just finally just spun it into the inside wall right here.
Kyle Petty gets into Nemechek, and everybody
Caution is out. Caution is out. Now, this will be a break for Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Who's going to get a lap back and who's not? Kurt Busch digging hard to keep anybody else from getting by.
Bill Elliott, the 9's trying to get up there, but those 3 cars will get a lap back. Bill Elliott, Ryan Newman will not.
15th caution flag.
Ryan Newman's 4 laps down, so it wouldn't have helped him a little bit, I guess.
He is another car had to pit under green a while ago.
Kyle Petty was down on the apron, washed up into Joe Nemechek. We'll see here.
Yeah, he just, golly, ran out. He had nowhere to go, but he had such a run on Joe that he couldn't woe up, so he tried to go on the apron, hoping Joe might see him and move up. Didn't happen.
Boy, Joe Nemechek was lucky he was able to save that car.
Yeah. Kyle could have, you know, he had two options there. Try to get down on the apron or run into Joe. He got down on the apron and still run into Joe, but at least Joe kept going.
And Kyle very lucky that nobody tagged him coming past.
Kyle's been lucky all day. Been in a couple of...
Ooh, Harvick squeezes past. How about Johnny Benson? Right, left, right, left, right. That was right. Ward Burton got into it.
Those cars already damaged from being in accidents earlier.
Ward was only one lap down.
Difficult to drive, and they get together there, and Ward loses control. He's headed for the inside wall here, and then he hits the inside wall, and the momentum just carries him right back up, and there goes Kyle, who I'm sure was hustling trying to get clear of that. Those two cars just get together, and that's the loosest part of the racetrack.
It's a hard lick on the inside wall.
Man, I'm sure Kyle was all drawn up, knowing that here comes Ward. Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Ah.
Watch this lick right here, though. Kyle Petty on that outside wall. That's a hard lick.
Yeah.
Now, I want to give a call to our cameramen. When you have accidents that start out with one hit, you follow the first crash, then the next crash, then the next crash. Those fellas are carrying the bills for us today.
It's all happening in a hurry.
Yep. And they're all multiple incidents. Johnny Benson.
You know, Darrell, we've seen several times today where I think these driver spotters, everybody figures the car is going to go down the racetrack, but it's going up, and a lot of people's getting in trouble by trying to go around them on the high side.
Of 16 cautions and all the crashes so far, the only cars that are not back in the race are Dale Jarrett and Kenny Schrader. Though it is unlikely that Kyle Petty or Ward Burton will return in the 72 laps that remain. NASCAR on Fox is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. By the Home Depot, NASCAR's home improvement warehouse. And by Valvoline's Max Life, products formulated to help keep your higher mileage car running for a long, long time. 70 laps to go. After tagging Ward Burton and slamming the wall with the left front, Kyle Petty taking a long time to get out of his Dodge. But now, with little aid from the rescue workers, he's able to climb out, puts weight on that left leg, and climbs that easily with the right. So hopefully Kyle is okay.
I know it usually knocks the wind out of you when you hit the wall that hard, and probably broke some ribs.
Here's another look, Darrell, as Ward slides up.
Yeah. I mean, and Kyle he sees what's happening. He's trying to drive down in there, probably just like he's racing. He's trying to get away from this thing so he doesn't get involved in it. And, man, when it hits that left front up there, that's when the driver really feels it.
Let's also mention that earlier, Jason Fowler, the tire carrier for Robbie Gordon, lacerated his finger. It was a deep cut, and so they took him to the local hospital to make sure there was no nerve damage. Here's Jeff Hammond.
Guys, we're talking about Kyle Petty inside his race car. Look here, I want to show you how tight everything is down inside here. These are the head restraint areas as far as you got a helmet on. It's to keep your head from being moved around very much. But the other thing that's kind of interesting is look how tight everything is in here. The roll bar right here above my head. You also got a bar right here as far as the door bar is concerned. Bobby, stand up here and take a look and down inside. I'm going to take the steering wheel off, and still I want you to see how tight it is down inside as far as where my legs are at. This is what Kyle is probably right now protecting his legs. They got leg supports on either side, but you've got very little room to move around inside this race car. So when you try to get out of the window opening itself, it's very small. I have no door top right here, and yet you can see how much room I would have trying to crawl out with all that head and neck restraint and everything like that right there. He uses a carbon fiber seat, which is kind of like new style technology, but this window opening it's one of those things. Think about Kyle. He's almost twice as big as I am, big old tall guy, and it's real hard to get in and out of. And you imagine the fact that he's probably had the wind knocked out of him. It's very difficult to pull yourself up out of here, and as Daryl's been talking about all day long, physically he's wore down. Now he just had the wind knocked out of him, so getting out of this race car is going to be very difficult. If you just take one more look here, guys, I'm trying to take a turn and get out. This is how tight everything can be, but that's the idea of having a really tight area for a driver to sit in to try to protect yourself.
Also, Jeff, it took some time for Kyle to remove his helmet and remove the Hans device, the head and neck support. Had both of those off when he finally did climb out of the car. And he's a tall, lanky fellow, a lot like his dad, Richard Petty.
I need to document, since that wreck, Kyle was sitting over there at the entrance of pit road. Pit road has been closed this entire time. I have a sneaky feeling, I don't think we'll see the guys at the very front like Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, those guys, but we may see people like Greg Biffle, Sterling Marlin possibly pit.
Now we saw Kyle Petty walk over to the gurney. That's his wife Patty walking into the care center with him. The neck support there as a precaution. They're going to check him over, and as soon as we have a report, we'll pass it on to you.
Pit road is open. Sterling Marlin, Greg Biffle.
Pile drives Tony Stewart. What in the world? It was all the smoke, Darrell, as they came down the front straightaway.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Tony lifted, and Nemechek came flying right into him. And that was, I mean, it was 10-12 seconds behind Mark's spin, but there was such a smoke cloud.
The thing that you just don't realize is when a car spins like Mark did and there's no caution, you really don't know. You don't know where everybody is. All you see is the smoke.
Well, they're going to come on pit road. Nemechek is. I can't believe Tony's car is still running as hard as that thing got hit and then hit.
Now, pit road's open, Darrell. 6 cars on the lead lap. Probably going to be about 20, 22 laps to go. I would have to believe Ricky Rudd, Sterling Marlin, being the last cars on the lead lap, may come to pit road. Those top 3 or 4, they're going to stay out, I would think.
Seems like that'd be a pretty good gamble right now. Come down and get your 4 tires and see what happens.
Now, the first, there's Robbie Gordon outside of Mark Martin.
Oh, Mark just come. The car just spun around. Mark, see, he's already been wrecked, and so his car's not driving as good as it should. And
then everybody's got to come through that daze of thunder-like cloud.
Spotters don't know if there's going to be a caution or not. They assume there is because you see all that smoke.
What happened to John Andretti in the 43 checked up, Tony Stewart checked up, Joe Nemechek did not check up. Not as much as those guys did anyhow.
The accordion compresses again.
Well, you just think, you just assume there's going to be a caution. See that? Look at that. Now you're assuming there's going to be a caution.
There's Ricky Rudd in the 21, just like we anticipated. Pit road, 4 tires, full of fuel adjustment. Steve Burns along with Sterling Marlin.
Larry Mack, they're going to add some air pressure to that 21. Ricky had gotten very loose on that last set of tires, and he's down pit road.
And yeah, what these guys will do now, this will be a short run for these guys, so they'll put a little more air pressure in the tires, but they'll come in quicker.
Kyle Petty has been, is out of the care center. Here's Jeannie.
Well, Kyle Petty awake and alert. You might have seen him make his way into an ambulance via a stretcher. I know it looked a lot worse than it was. We're being told that they're just taking him to the Bristol Medical Center for precautionary reasons, and they're going to do a little more in-depth look at him. But again, he is awake and alert, and there was some talk that NASCAR may have had to throw a caution to get him out, but I guess it worked out. Crew Chief Steve Lane, how are you doing? Have you talked to Kyle?
We walked up to the window and talked to him a little bit, and he just said he heard all over, and that's really all he said. And then they kind of pushed us back to get him out of the car, and I think they're just going to take him to, you know, just for safety precautions, just to make sure it's okay. So I hope he's just, you know, that's what it is, just bruised up. So but he took a hard leg.
What was the delay getting out of the car?
I'm sorry?
What was the delay getting out of the car?
Well, I think that when he came to, he told him just to hold tight, you know, from what I could see, just standing back, and he kind of caught his breath and stuff, and I think he told him that he could get out on his own. And with that seat, they had to take the headrest and stuff off, and they wanted to make sure that they supported his neck. But like I said, I believe he'll be okay.
Could you see this one coming at all?
No, and it's just one of those racing deals. From what the spotter said, the 22 car was spinning, and he said another inch and hit and missed him. So this was one of those deals that happened. We just hope Kyle's okay.
All right, thank you for the time.
They've opened the crossover gate at turn 3 so that the ambulance can leave as soon as the track, as soon as the field comes by. And we'll take Kyle Petty out via ambulance. And again, this is considered precautionary after a hard hit into the turn 1 wall as Kyle clipped a spinning Ward Burton.
It's a very, very heavy gate.
Yeah, it's on a cable, and as you can see, they're trying to push the cable down so the wrecker can go across.
Here's another look at it as Ward Burton comes across after bouncing off the inside wall, collecting Kyle.
It was 2 hard licks.
Yeah, when he got hit by the 22 car, then that was a wake-up call, and then he got hit up against that wall. He knew that was going to hurt.
Now, the 2 cars involved in this caution, Joe Nemechek and Tony Stewart, continue to make their way around the track and around pit road, making multiple stops. Stewart couldn't hardly see past that hood, so get it out of there.
Now, that car must have a pretty good crash bar in the front of it, Larry, the 20 car, because I don't see any steam coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's showing right now on our scoring in 11th position, with 12th position, just 1 lap down. So they're going to do everything they can here. It's going to be about maybe 18 laps to go when we get this race restarted. We need to document the type of restart we'll have is what we call the 25-lap rule, where those 6 lead lap cars only will be in the outside line, but that's a bunch of lap cars on the inside.
As bad as this damage, though, you know, it may not have any water in it. It may have already lost all of it, but I don't see any steam. I don't see any smoke. I think he lucked out in that area.
And he's able to stay out there just 1 lap down. Here's Dick Bergman.
You guys realize how good this is for Kurt Busch to have these laps going under caution?
No. His race car is neutral in, tight in the center, and we have trouble on the racetrack at Steve Park.
Steve Park spins off turn 4, and cars scatter to miss him. Many take evasive action down pit road.
Man, they did. They were coming off the corner. They're going down pit road wide open.
Jeff Burton, Ward Burton, Michael Waltrip,
Jeff Burton.
Kenny Wallace.
I don't think Jeff Burton ever lifted.
Second caution of the day at lap 41. Jimmy Spencer is not able to get back on the lead lap as they come around and take the caution flag.
Now, I'm sure we'll see everybody to pit road now, and the thing that didn't really work out for those guys that pitted earlier back on lap 13 or 14, we've almost run so far they're going to have to pit again.
Yep.
Let's see what happened to Steve Park, the yellow car.
See the yellow car, and he's got the 0 car down under him. I don't know. That looked like they just looked like Steve lost it to me.
Just got loose, bad loose.
Mark Martin, and I think that was Sterling Marlin, who squeezed through on the outside.
Yeah. See, there goes the 16 through the grass. I mean, it was pretty evasive action by everyone, and he's a lucky guy, I'm telling you, not to have any more problems than he had out of that.
Because that's one of the most dangerous places of this racetrack, I think, coming off turn 4 into this double dog leg.
And Sterling may have brushed the wall in all that. I'm not sure he got through cleanly. I think Mark Martin did.
It's just, you know, you just start in the back. It's just, you're just so fortunate when you make it all the way up through there without something happening. I know Sterling's got a good car, but I tell you, it's going to be tough to make it to the front.
Pit road will be open. Let's ride with Michael Waltrip.
You see all that? That's just like running into a bank of fog. You have no idea what's in there.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Jimmy Spencer.
Caution is out in Texas for the 4th time today. There's debris on the racetrack, and Greg Biffle seems to have something blowing in the wind.
Now, there's a saying in racing that you blew his doors off. They blew his whole side off. There's a piece of, see that metal hanging down there? That's a piece of interior there. That's one of the crush panels.
It seals it off to the firewall. Now it's not there anymore. That, I would say that's the debris.
Yep. And we're seeing, think for a moment.
Whoa, Elliott Sadler's in trouble on the backstretch.
Yep. I think something was wrong. I think he was having a problem of some kind because
hard hit. Caution is out. I didn't mean to scare you, Darrell, but I saw the red car run up behind him. Jeff Burton gets his lap back.
And something's wrong with our leader. Maybe. Matt Kenseth slowed so much that Jeff Gordon blew right past him on the run to the caution.
He was trying to let the 21 and the 97 get a lap
Exactly.
And Gordon didn't go for it.
Elliott Sadler appears to be okay, taking the helmet off.
I think something was happening to that 38 car.
Exactly.
Down in turns 3 and 4 here, he kind of shot up the racetrack all at once as if it was a surprise, and then he fell back. Then he looked like he said, okay, it's all right. Then he had that problem.
Yeah, it's almost like he never was going from the time they dropped the green flag, and I'm sure we'll probably, I hope, see it on a replay, but as he came off too, a red car ran up underneath him. Looks like it got him loose, and we'll see it here. It's Jeremy Mayfield, the 19 car.
Oh, he just gets out. The car just, apparently on that set of tires there was just something that changed the car dramatically over what it had been earlier.
Elliott's climbed out of the car, and he is okay after leading 91 laps today and ending up at the inside wall hard.
That is a hard lick. I mean, you're running so fast everywhere on this racetrack.
Steve?
Mike, Elliott Sadler never said a word before that incident, but I can tell you something a little bit unusual. Bill Elliott may be gone, but his tires and wheels are on that 38 car of Elliott Sadler. They put a set of scuffed tires on, and I don't know if that contributed to the problem, but he did crash hard into that retaining wall.
And a crash on pit road. As they came in, Ward Burton got turned around.
He and Joe Nemechek got together somewhere or another.
Dale Jarrett may also have been involved. Not all cars came in. Johnny Benson is in. Earnhardt Jr., McMurray, Green, Bobby Labonte, Nadeau, Jarrett, Foyt. And let's show you what happened on pit road. Well, we've seen this before this season. A driver with Kurt Busch at Las Vegas.
The reason Ward Burton was coming across like that, he's in the second pit from the entrance of pit road. He was just trying to get into his pit box.
Yeah, they're down here taping up the nose on the 88 now because he got quite a bit of damage.
It looked a lot like Busch's incident at Las Vegas when a driver's pitted up to turn 4 into pit road and makes a late move in. There's apt to be somebody there.
It's almost like Ward Burton didn't decide to pit to the last minute. Then when he got on pit road, he was all the way to the outside and had to get into his pit box and causes the problem. We need to document that Ricky Rudd and Kurt Busch did not get their lap back. Ricky Rudd trying to get 1 of 2 laps back.
Elliott Sadler crashes hard, bringing out the 5th caution of the day.
Welcome back to Samsung Radio Shack 500 here in Texas. Matt Kenseth leading Jeff Gordon just past the halfway point and no driver.
Ryan Newman picks up the lead for the 2nd time today as Jimmy Spencer pounds the wall. He and Tony Stewart got together, and Terry Labonte comes through. Ricky Rudd, Sterling Marlin, all trying to avoid as the leaders will come around to the caution flag.
Now, Ryan Newman was the leader of the race because he had not pitted. Ryan Newman had not pitted. Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Green, Johnny Benson, Jerry Nadeau, Ward Burton. A lot of these cars had not been to pit road.
This will shake things up.
Yes, it will.
And that was Jeremy Mayfield just hitting the wall in turn 1 as he tried to get around Jimmy Spencer's stopped car here in the quad oval. 6th caution coming out at lap 226. Tony Stewart and Jimmy Spencer getting together in the front straightaway.
Now the person this really hurts right here, and we're going to see the replay right here.
Jimmy's push. You see Jimmy's car is pushing up. Gets a little bobble to it.
Gets into Tony Stewart just a little bit.
Gets in the side of Tony. So just in the last 2 laps, Tony and Bobby Labonte both have had some body damage.
Well, I was just fixing to mention the car this really hurts is Bobby Labonte, because remember, we talked about he could run further than a lot of these guys, but he had to come to pit road because of that damage.
Yeah, and they had to pound that fender out pretty good. And here's Sterling, just barely missing the 21.
Yeah, Terry Labonte spun through it.
Here he comes. He's already out in the grass just trying to get on by.
Just trying to hang on.
Now that may mess up the front air dam right there. That's a big bump.
I'd say it did.
Now here comes the leaders to pit road that had not pitted. Ryan Newman in the 12, Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt in the 6.
Oh, trouble, turn 3.
Christian Fittipaldi, Dale Jarrett in the 88 car.
Caution's out. Leader got it.
Nobody gets a lap back.
That is 3 caution flags in just 16 laps.
You get the cars bunched up like this. There's not a real good outside groove, and you get up in that loose stuff, and around you go, and you got people pushing you, shoving you, trying to get laps back. I mean, a lot of different agendas here causes a lot of problems. Poor
Kyle
Dale Jarrett
Petty qualified this car. Christian Fittipaldi named as the relief driver yesterday. Kyle was sore ribs from his Bristol crash. And Jarrett with a flat at least on the left side, trying to limp back to pit road.
I think Jarrett has been one of those days when he just, every time something happened, he was in the middle of it.
It was almost the same last week at Bristol.
And I'm sure he would tell you, when you don't run up front, when you're back in the middle of the pack, that's what happens to you.
Here's a look.
Just get up out of the groove down there. It's hard to tell.
Fittipaldi was around and caught Jarrett, who was going by on the outside.
A lot of damage to that car. Huh? When you hit the wall here, I mean, you hit it a ton. It don't matter where you hit it.
You very seldom see them tow them in on a wrecker. They use a rollback. But that's what I'm telling you. Right now, everybody knows it's a lap down, or wherever you are in this race, you got to be aggressive right now. You got to take advantage of these cautions if you're going to get back in the race.
We're seeing some of our leaders come to pit road. Tony Stewart in the 20 car, Ward Burton in the 22, of course, Dale Jarrett. And I was just talking about Mark.
Real careful out there. Do not mess with the grill.
There's Christian Fittipaldi. He is okay. I want a camera inside Ricky Rudd's car every week because he is the master at avoiding disaster. Here he goes again.
In a row. He has to be approaching about a dozen misses.
Yeah, we saw him do that at Bristol last week with when a car spun, and he kind of avoided it. Saw it happen here on the front straightaway earlier.
Attaboy. Dick Bergman.
With Mike Skinner walked out of the medical care center. 2 hard crashes in a row this week at the racetrack that you've suffered some of your worst accidents at. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, Dick. You know, our Kodak Pontiac was not the best today. We got up to 22nd, and I guess there was only about 8 cars on the lead lap, and we were a lot better than a lot of cars in front of us, and we felt like, you know, we can get out of here with a 10th to 15th place run. It'll give us something to build on. We're still trying some suspension stuff that we learned from Tony Furr. Quite haven't got it perfected yet, but you know, I hate it for Kodak. I hate it for our race team. They gave me pretty good pit stops today. The engine ran good again, and you know, we just couldn't get a break. I guess everybody saw what happened. Some car got loose. Wasn't really no place to go and just got clipped. But, you know, I like Texas. Some of my good friends are here.
No,
he come right down
that took the strategy out right there.
10th yellow of the day, lap 283. And there is no right side. No usable right side left.
He can't stop.
No, he pounded that thing.
You're right, Joe. You're right.
And I think what we'll see here, especially with about 50 laps to go, we're going to see everybody come to pit road, probably take four tires, Darrell. This puts you where you can make it to the end of the race.
And nobody got a lap back from Ryan Newman on the run to the caution flag.
No, he was way too far ahead of anybody that could. About the 29 car was about the only one that could. Harvick.
Joe Nemechek did respond to his crew. He was talking to them.
I tell you, though, he knocked the fire out of that wall.
As we've talked all day long, when you hit the wall here, even if you're in the middle of the corner, you hit it a ton.
I couldn't tell if something happened to the right front, but it appeared to.
Of course, pit road is closed because Joe Nemechek's car is on pit road along with a lot of the safety vehicles. There you see the man waving the red flag with the yellow cross indicating that pit road's closed. When it's open, he'll be waving a green flag.
Joe's out of the car, but I guarantee you he's had that. No, is he still in there? I thought I saw him walk away.
I think that was a crewman.
Yeah, it is.
Uniforms are the same. And here's what's left of Bobby Labonte's car. Coming back out into the race. We'll see this from Dale Jr.'s car.
Right, Johnny Sauter running fourth, cut down a tire. Trouble, turn one. Hard, a car in the wall. And spinning down to the bottom. It's going to be 10 or more cars involved. Johnny Benson. Lap 4. Here they come to the flag, and everybody pretty much out of the throttle. Mayhem in turn 1.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. Want to check. He may have been involved in that. There he is right there.
I think he made it. He was so far in the back, Larry. I think he made it through okay.
Little bit of damage to his left front. There you see Ryan Newman in the 12 car.
Casey Mears, the nose of his Dodge torn up as well. And Hermie Sadler has crashed out of this race.
No dreams today for Hermie.
This was his very first restrictor plate race start, Hermie.
Jeff Burton on the right, Casey Mears on the left. Darrell, there was contact and one car shot up. Hard hit to the outside wall. Flames erupted. And everybody piled in.
Well, let's see if we can some kind of idea about what happens here.
Darrell, I believe the 12 car, Ryan Newman, looks like he was out of shape, maybe starting to get loose by himself.
And Newman almost flipped over.
Remember, he had that hard crash at Daytona where he got on his roof at back in February.
I can't imagine that there wasn't some sort of contact that started that, because that looks so violent. Man, that car was almost over on its top right there. It hit that wall a ton.
Rusty Wallace, his teammate, the 2 cars involved.
As they come through, watch for the last 2 cars, which I believe, there's Earnhardt Jr. up high getting through with Schrader and Tony Raines. Jr. and Raines are the last 2 to get through from Rusty Wallace.
That was Ryan Newman's tire right there bouncing over the fence.
There's Dale Jr. right there. Look at him.
I think he got just a little bit of damage on that left front.
Let's ride with Dale Jr.
Yeah, right there he got in the back of the 30 car. Can't see a thing. Look at that.
And this is the camera, but remember, he's seeing the same thing out that windshield.
Except his windshield doesn't clear like this one.
Schrader got into the side of him a little bit, and he got a little damage to the front when he got in the back of the 30 car, but otherwise I think he's going to be all right. I'm not so sure that Mark Martin in the 12 car didn't make some contact.
Man. Tire went completely over the fence, outside the racetrack.
Did the Jimmy Horton. Matt Yoakum.
Mike, over the past 45 to 50 seconds, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been talking on the radio, diagnosing the cosmetic damage to the car. He said he got into the back of the 30, which you saw in our video. There is damage to the left front bottom fascia. They've got a piece of aluminum already cut to do some work. He also said he got into the 49 of Ken Schrader. Not sure about the right side or the rear. They're going to change the tires because he flat spotted them by locking them up. As Phil Dry's trying to work on that left front corner, they're beating it out. Now he's got the hammer. Not as bad as they thought by listening to him on the radio or watching the video. But remember, aerodynamics so important here. But remember back to Daytona 2 years ago where he lost the whole right front fender. They replaced it and he was just as fast or faster. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal here. But aerodynamics so important as they are cutting another piece of aluminum here to work on that front corner.
Let's have a look from Matt Kenseth. A lot of damage there.
And Mike, the good thing about these guys working on their cars on pit road, the pace car's running 70 miles an hour, but it takes almost 3 minutes to get around this racetrack. And when you're working on a race car, that don't seem like long, but that's a lot more than anywhere else we go.
Tony Stewart with a little damage. Here's Steve.
And Mike, Mark Martin assessing the damage to the rear end of the number 6 Viagra car. Mark, what happened?
The 12 car had a tire go down right rear. And golly, I tell you, this Viagra team just, I tell you, I can't believe it. We just can't get on a roll, you know. We run so good on the racetrack, and man, we've just been really up against. We had a lot of good luck, I guess, last year, but boy, it's sure coming back to haunt us this year.
Mark, there's a lot of damage. Can you get the race car back out there?
Yeah, we'll get back out there, but it sure ain't gonna be pretty. You know, our day is wasted, and it's just, you know, I'm disappointed we we had a reasonable car, and nothing was going on there, and there was nothing that anybody could, you know, I was just in the right spot to be in a wreck. The 12 car had looked like a right rear or a left rear go down, and he crossed up, and there was no way to do anything. You know, there was no way to avoid it.
Thanks, Mark.
26 cars in all, Ricky Rudd's among them, involved in this accident in turn 1. Let's ride with Ricky Rudd.
Roush cars, Kurt Busch is the only one that was not involved in that wreck.
And remember, that's at 190 miles an hour.
Hermie Sadler. Day ends early. 6 laps complete in the Aaron's 499. One of 26 cars involved. There is the car that triggered it.
Yeah, and the left front wheel, that's what we saw go over the wall. It's ripped right off of that car. It wasn't the right rear, it must have been the left rear that he had a problem with.
Yesterday in the Aaron's 312 on the 10th lap of the race, the 4th place car right there, Johnny Sauter, cuts down a tire, goes to the apron, and back up, and the track just clogs. In today's crash, it's Ryan Newman who has a problem.
See him get a little bit loose there as he goes down into 1, and then he gets real loose again and gets down into Mark Martin. And that sets this whole deal off. And boy, that 12 was, when the wheel came off of it, that's what caused it to almost go over, dug into the racetrack.
2 cars almost got through. Here comes Bobby Labonte from the right side of your screen. Here comes Bobby. He's going to miss it. He's going to miss it. He's going to miss it. No, he's not.
Couldn't do it. And then the other guy, here's Dale Jr. right here coming down through there. And he's been all over the place, made a little contact, not a lot, and he is going to miss it. He makes it through.
I think he missed completely here. The damage he got was when he got in the back of Jeff Greenway back over in turn 1.
He was far enough back that he didn't get run over from behind.
Here is the first page of cars involved in the crash, which now total 27. And these are in numerical order. And there are the rest. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Mike, is a swarm of mechanics working on Jamie McMurray's battered race car. Jamie, first of all, are you okay? Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I didn't really take that hard of a hit. I just, I saw the 12 car get out of control, and I didn't know if someone ran into him or what happened, but, you know, he came up the racetrack. When I got on the brakes, whoever was behind me ran into me, and then it just kind of a chain reaction. But we didn't really get hit that hard. I'm hoping we can get the Haviland Dodge back on the racetrack.
All right, best of luck. Let's go to Jeannie.
With Jeff Green, can you take us through what happened from your vantage point?
Well, I couldn't tell you, Jeannie, what happened until they said 12 might have blown a tire or something. And, you know, unfortunately, we have to race 4 races like this. Half the field's going to be, you know, a lot of cars are in the garage area, so how good a race is that going to be for the fans? And I know it's a fantastic race to watch, but for us, it's pretty exciting and pretty mentally draining. And it's just tough to get, you know, I hadn't had a good weekend for AOL Chevy yet down here. This week's end's been pretty bad for us. So hopefully we can get away from here and go to Martinsville and try to win a race.
What could make this better?
A weekend off. How about that?
Oh, fair enough. You feel good.
27 cars in the crash. 17 of them are in the garage right now, including Hermie Sadler's. Let's ride with Johnny Benson, looking back at his teammate, Jerry Nadeau. All right, let's ride with Nadeau then. Johnny Benson just ahead of him. And the view from Winston Cup champion Tony Stewart. Jeannie?
Ryan, we see you walking. You're doing okay. Word is that you cut a tire. Is that what you know?
it went down. I don't know if it blew or what, but it cut a tire, and then I got loose, and then I got hit, and then that was it.
Are you doing okay?
I could be better, don't you think?
I guess so. I just want to know you're healthy.
All drivers involved taken to the care center for a checkup and released. That's the good news. The bad news is that 17 cars right now are in the garage area, and more are on pit road under it from this caution, as will Greg Biffle. Dave Blaney was back in the race and at 7 laps down. Jerry Nadeau came out of the garage to run 2 laps and has retired his car. Jamie McMurray just returned to the race.
And this caution will, Larry, save us obviously from having to make a pit stop under green, which was getting ready to happen here pretty quickly.
And I saw Greg Biffle jump on pit road. That pit road is not open yet, so he'll have to go the tail end of the longest line on this restart.
Steve?
Yeah, Mike, we're listening to Greg Biffle talk to crew chief Randy Goss. They're having an overheating problem. Biffle's had to get out of line to cool the thing down. They think they have a problem with the radiator fan, and Greg also saying he thought he saw water squirting out from under the hood.
Well, we can see it from here, Steve. They're losing a lot of water up there where the overflow hose is.
I think they over-taped it, but remember now he had a problem similar to this at Bristol, and they got water in the thing, got it cooled down, and he come on home with the top 5 finish, so he's still not out of the hunt.
Trouble right now is if you want to raise that hood, you got to peel back a lot of that tape.
Yeah,
for starters.
And I tell you who else this is a big break for, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. had that piece flapping on his left front. This will be a big break for him, Jeff Hammond.
Now, if you'll notice, a guy that's over on the driver's side, they got a flap on the Roush cars right there where the roof, I mean, the cow flaps are, and they've got their cars fixed, Mike, so they don't have to raise the hood. In the event of this, they can just flip that